Hello, everybody, and welcome into Big Boy Arena on a Saturday night for some FPHL hockey action. I'm Brady Beaton, joined by Ben Zalagi. And Ben, it's been a while. A lot has happened, but it's good to be back here with you.
I was going to say, it has been a while. I forgot what your face looked like. I thought maybe you would shave, maybe throw me off guard, but you know what? Thank you. You kept true. You maybe got a little bit of a haircut. But you kept the beard, and it looks good.
And, well, we're going to have to get used to this place because after being on the road for a few weeks, Rockers are going to be home for a while. But before we talk about this game in the future, let's go through the past. Ben, it was a road trip with mixed results, maybe left a little to be desired, but it ended on a positive note last night.
It did, yeah, and there was some meat left on the bone. Obviously, we're talking about the Mississippi Seawolves series, but again, credit Mississippi. They've been playing well lately, and both games went to overtime. You just couldn't cash one in. So while it didn't go like the way everyone wanted it to, you still got 2 points out of the weekend, which isn't terrible. It helps, buoy this team a little bit. And of course, what happened last night really helps buoy this team because now the Rockers are within 1 point of third place, which, of course, Port Huron currently has.
Right, and if you want to look at the glass half full side of things, they go on a road trip, and they get a point in every game. Now, The greedy side of me says you could have had more, but they did get a point every time on the road, and a big 5-0 win last night in McMorran Arena with Blake Scott in net. Had to be fun to watch, Ben.
It was, and, a lot of people – this is I'm going to pull up my Twitter feed because I want people to understand the context of last night, right? Last night for Blake Scott was monumental. And when I say monumental, there's a reason why. He's played in 110 games, right? But not only that, he's one save shy of 1,400. He's at 1,399. He's played in 2,036 minutes and 42 seconds. And a lot of hockey, and last night he finally got the shutout in his first career shutout.
Has to feel good to finally get the first. Hopefully it's one of those things, the dam breaks, and now he'll continue on tonight with it. Back here in Big Boy Arena, and there's some familiar faces making their return, Ben. Not a moment too soon that we get some players back from the mystical land.
Yeah, from the mystical land is right. And, we talked about, we saw it in the 4-1 loss to Watertown. The defense did not look great. There was a lot of breakaways in that game. It's why that game got away from the Rockers. But guess what, folks? Cavalry has arrived in the form of Danny Vanderweel. Vanderweel is back. He, of course, was on loan in Birmingham. And then, of course, now also Nick Miguel Diaz is back. He was playing for the Quad City Storm. So Nick is back. Danny Vanderweel is back. Everyone that is supposed to be back is back except for, of course, Dylan Johnson. We aren't expecting him back anytime soon. But everyone else that should be back is back. There is a name, though, that is not going to be back. He wears number 53. But the good news is he's still going to be around. He's on the roster, just in a different position. Brady, let people know.
Jonathan Giuliano released as a player, signed as an assistant coach, so he's still with the organization. Also worth noting, Declan Conway serving a 1-game suspension from last night. Trevor Babin also returned from suspension along with Everett Thompson. Babin, although, will be the backup tonight, riding the hot hand with Blake Scott. But, Ben, one other piece of news we got since we've been gone. We officially have a playoff format, and let's set the stage. Coming into this final home stretch of the Fed season, what's the playoff format officially like, and what does this game mean for the long term?
So we've talked about it on the broadcast. We've kept everyone up to date and afloat with everything. But the playoff format is as such. Top 4 teams in each division will play. 1 will play 4, 2 will play 3. Each game, or each series, is going to be 3 games. So you have to remember that. It's going to be quick series as well. And, of course, the winner of each division through the playoffs will then face each other for the Commissioner's Cup. So we've actually have it in writing. It is real. Yes. We're not just talking about it. It is actually real. You can go to the league website. It is actually there in writing. The brackets are there, and they look pretty good.
That indeed, and this game going to be for standings right now. These two teams just a hair separated between third and fourth place. If either side can put together a little winning streak, challenge Carolina for that second seed, could get home ice advantage. That means all the difference in the world in just a 3-game series.
Yeah, it makes all the difference in the world. We've talked about it on broadcast before. Obviously, when you're on the road, things are a little bit different. You want to be at home ice as much as you can, because you're only going to get one game if you don't have home ice advantage. So it's nice to have 2 games in those series. These games are going to be important. You know, we have the 7 games, but we also are going to see Columbus. We're going to see Carolina a lot. You can make up a lot of ground, and of course, if there's another win tonight, you now become third place, which also helps, not face a very, very, very good Columbus team.
All right, we'll step aside for a moment as the starters are announced. The national anthems play. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Motor City Rockers hockey here on the Motor City Rockers YouTube page. Back here at Big Boy Arena, getting ready for Motor City Rockers hockey as they take on the Port Huron Prowlers. Starting lineups brought to you by Rock City Logistics. For a quote on all your global shipping needs, including LTL, rail, flatbed, and more, please visit rockcitylogistics.com. Ben, give us the starting lineups for both sides.
Yeah, for Port Huron, they're going to start a couple of new faces. Tori McLean, number 28 from Niagara Falls, Ontario, gets the start at forward. Also number 55, Matt Stoa from Northville, Michigan, making a start. And number 94, Evan Foley from Belleville, Ontario. That is the front line. The back line is going to be manned by number 27, Frank Schumacher from Brighton, Michigan. And number 46, Dylan Thackeray from White City, Saskatchewan, Canada. And then in net, a name we have not seen and a face we have not seen in a while, number 39, Danik Rodrigue. And then for the Rockers in net, last night he had a 34-save shutout, so he gets the nod tonight. number 36, Blake Scott from Chesapeake, Virginia. Number 19, Danny Vanderweel from Island Lake, Illinois. Gets the back line. He's going to be paired with Jamie Milam out of Lake Orion, Michigan. And then the top line, Roman Gaudette, number 10 from Plymouth. Number 21, Brad Ryder from Grand Rapids. And number 71, Derek McAma from Swartz Creek, Michigan.
Derek McAma with the hat trick last night. Attacking the puck right now, but Port Huron controls it up the left side. Brings it over the blue line, throws on net, easily sticked away by Scott. Port Huron with a few strong players as the slap shot goes right into the chest of Scott. Schumacher unloaded one. Scott in good positioning, but a few players that put up a lot of points for Port Huron. Liam Freeborn, Larry Vartiainen, both not in the lineups tonight. Takes a little firepower away from the Prowler scoring.
Yeah, it does, and it even puts a bigger spotlight on a guy like Dalton Jay, right? He's a guy that the Rockers have known how to control. We've talked about it before in the broadcast, and without Larry Vartiainen and Liam Freeborn, you don't know where your goals are going to come from. So you got to expect your second and third lines to get some goals. But
Port Huron very top heavy when it comes to scoring. So losing a couple guys, lose a heck of a lot of points. Thackerberry's shot gets deflected by McLean behind the net. Still in the zone, battling for it. Stoya sends across, usually a defenseman for Port Huron, playing forward tonight with a few of their starters out. Into neutral ice, chasing after it, Foley collects it in his own zone. Pressured, Foley back to the corner. Turns it over, right side, floats across. Vanderweel from the top, throws it, he just blows it on net, gets the goal. Not the prettiest goal from Danny Vanderweel, but it counts all the same. 1-0 Motor City, game's not even a minute old.
No, Connor Inger, though, did a beautiful screen. Roderick Dadnik had no idea where that puck was. It snuck stick side. Beautiful shot from the top point. Danny Vanderweel, welcome back, my friend.
And that's how you get a game started. 1-0. 54 seconds in. You're right, Ben, just a perfectly screened shot. Vanderweel just throws it on net, probably not expecting to score, just trying to cause chaos. But as the old saying goes, put pucks on net, good things happen. Lambden over the blue line left side in the circle, gets pushed off the puck by Henning. Battle for it in the left corner. Gets poked back out in close. Port Huron comes away with it. Chartrand flips it up, right side. Into the corner. Port Huron trying to answer quickly. Shot gets deflected wide right of the net. Just a minute 30 into this contest. Already 1-0 Motor City on the Danny Vanderweel goal. Lambden chasing after it. He'll have to fight with Alex Johnson. The assistant GM for Port Huron corrals the puck far half wall. Pass misses everyone, goes all the way down. And we will get an icing call. Offensive zone draw upcoming for the Rockers.
Well, it's good Danny Vanderweel got a goal. It was nice that Everett Thompson in his first game back was the one who gets the apple. It's also nice because we've seen the Rockers jump out to 2-0 leads against Port Huron, and Port Huron's been able to erase those deficits. So it helps keep the positive momentum from last night flowing. Always good when you can get on the scoreboard first.
Absolutely, and well, before some fans are even in their seats, it's 1-0, loose out in front, and Rodriguez has to sprawl out to swipe it away with the stick. Devaney throws on net, caught by Scott. He'll play it behind the net. Line change for Port Huron along the near side. Miguel Diaz horseshoes it around, stopped by Rodriguez, backhand to the near hash marks. Fighting for the puck, slips to neutral ice. Miguel Diaz floats it in deep, but it's caught and played by Port Huron. Left corner. A couple of different players jousting for it. Minnie beats Thompson for the puck. Off the high glass, Graham deep in the zone. Graham sends to the left side to Federley. Surveys the scene, rings it all the way around the boards. To the right side, Minnie keeps it on his stick, in deep to Jay, touch pass in front, Graham poked at it, and it bounces through the crease harmlessly. With a good chance for Port Huron.
Yeah, Miguel Diaz put a stick on it, and that's why that puck floated. Just got out of harm's way.
Inger takes a hit on the right boards. Motor City retains possession for the moment. Graham picks off a pass behind the net. Backhand shovels to Federley. Looks at the return, hits off the glove of Vanderweel. Motor City collects it in neutral ice. Cardinal goes back to his own zone only for a moment. Down the right side, Milam brings it in, throws right on net, into the trapper of Rodrigue. 16:46 to go in the first. 1-0 Motor City on top of Port Huron.
Milam's still a new face with this team, but as each game he's playing, he's getting a little bit more comfortable. You can see he understands his teammates' abilities around him. You saw a little bit of a dangle come in across the blue line and still has a sick wrister for a guy that's almost 40 years old.
From the blue line, shot gets deflected wide left. After that first goal, I have to imagine anyone in a black jersey thinking, hey, just throw it on net and good things could happen. Maybe get Rodrigue rattled early. Vanderweel over the center ice. Puck slides into the Port Huron zone. Rockers need to touch up. Prowlers with the puck. Pass tipped down. Stoya got a stick on it. Vanderweel chases after it, battles for it with McLean. Stoya in deep. Along the near boards. Both sides joust before puck flies to the right of the net. Far side turning, firing, banking it off the back wall once again. Stoya throws on net, patted away. Seems like that's the idea for Port Huron right now, at least with this second line, is throw it on net and hope good things happen.
Yeah, Port Huron, as we said, they don't have a lot of their top normal point getters, and if you throw it on net, again, anything, good things are going to happen. Port Huron, though, needs to find a guy who can step up and take over a game, and maybe Dalton Jay is going to be that guy who's going to take over a game as well, but you're going to need your supporting cast around you to help you out.
Dalton Jay, 25 goals, 27 assists, leads the Prowlers in goals and points. In his own zone, Suffredini dissects the defense, sprints up the near side over the red line, diagonal dump in. Inger will chase after it. Battles Johnson for the puck behind the Prowlers net. The far side pass up, trapped by Chartrand to neutral ice. Suffredini in his own zone. Touch pass. Thompson over the line. Everett Thompson throws it right into the trapper of Rodrigue. 15:02 to go in the first period. Still 1-0 Motor City in an offensive zone draw for the Rockers.
And right now, while we have a quick break, shots are still fairly even. Port Huron, though, has 3-2 in favor of the Prowlers. So not a lot of shots on goal, but one did count.
That's been more just that first shot for Motor City. Wasn't the best one, but it got through. And that's been the difference here early. 5 minutes into the first period, 1-0 Rockers lead. Motor City controls the puck in front, tip just wide of the net from Perks. Along the blue line, Colton throws on net, and once again, gloved by Rodrigue. That'll take us to our media timeout. 14:44 to go in the first period. Benny already gave us the shots on goal, but it's a full slate of action in the Fed. Why don't we go around the FPHL and see what's going on?
Yeah, Binghamton and Elmira have squared off. They are still tied at 0 out in Elmira. Port Huron obviously here at Big Boy Arena. It is a 1-0 game, and shots actually evened up at 3 apiece, so we can still give that update. Danbury and Watertown, they're tied at 0, and Delaware, who surprised the world last night, have not dropped the puck against Columbus, and they got a big road win last night. Of course, Carolina, Mississippi. That's going to be an 8 p.m., I should say, puck drop, as we're on the East Coast and they're in Central Time, so they still have some time to get that game going. How
about the flip from Delaware, from going to setting the professional losing record of 28 games in a row to just a couple weeks later knocking off not just any team, but the first place team who has been so dominant in the Fed in their barn?
Yeah, it was definitely eye-opening. It was surprising. People in the chat, our friends in the chat, last night, we were getting harassed by a couple of Delaware fans and trying to you could tell after you looked at the scoreboard why they were excited, rightfully so. Again, that game going into overtime, and kudos to Delaware. The Thunder, they got a big win, and it was surprising to everybody, but again, hats off to the Thunder getting their 4th win of the year against a very good opponent.
So I won't get a chance to tell this anecdote too often. They broke the Battle Creek Rumblebees record of 25 straight losses. Suffredini behind the net in close, and Rodrigue falls on it. Battle Creek lost 25 games to start the season back in the 1920 season. They broke it in Elmira, and the promotion that night in Elmira was guaranteed win night.
That's brutal.
They won one game in their history, and it was on guaranteed win night for Elmira. So all the fans got free tickets to another game because the guaranteed win didn't happen. Haven't seen that promotion in the Fed since.
Oh, you're gambling a lot. As someone who's not afraid of stepping around a casino floor, that is a big, big gamble.
I know you were playing an 0-25 team going into that, but that's just asking for trouble.
Well, and to be fair, they're still 0-25, but we're still playing professional hockey. On any given night, granted, we've talked about this off air, you should win some games, but it should not, a definite, and that's the reason why. It's a large gamble to do such a thing.
14:21 to go in the first, 1-0 Motor City leading their rivals in the state of Michigan, Port Huron. Prowlers controlled off the draw federally on the far side. That was not federally on the far side. Controlled near the half wall. Ryder lost it for a moment. Colton keeps it in deep. Schumacher races after it. Ryder in deep. To the far side, Colton comes up. Centering pass. Knocked away by Gaudette. Collects it. Rink wide pass, Suffredini, point blank chance, and it's saved by Rodrigue. Came out, cut down the angle, and Suffredini couldn't beat him.
Yeah, Suffredini actually had the near side wide open, but he thought he had enough as Rodrigue was coming out that he could go far side. The angle was already cut down. If he stays near side, it's a 2-0 game. He just overthought it, and it is a higher percentage shot on the near side. You would have liked him to take it. He just wanted to beat him glove side, and it didn't happen.
Rodrigue guessed, and he guessed right.
That's all you got to do, square up to your opponent as you're a goaltender, and you're cutting down a lot of angles and a lot of probabilities.
Draw comes to the left of Blake Scott. Foley and Coash tie up. Motor City ends up with the puck. Inger along the near boards. Diagonal feed. Shot from the top of the right wing circle. Still loose. A swing and a miss on the putback attempt.
Yeah, Everett knows he could have had one there. He was charging in. Coash was on the far side, charging in. Everett slipped behind everyone, waiting for that rebound. And when he got there, he just couldn't put wood onto rubber to put it away. And he was upset at himself. But it's the right thing you want to do. You want to charge the net for those rebound goals, and Everett just didn't get lucky there. But I like the intensity, though, slipping behind the defense to make something like that happen.
Crash the net again. Good things happen when you get around the crease. Right wing draw in the Prowlers' end. Coash chases after it. Johnson from Port Huron swipes at it. Far side, McLean can't get it out of the zone on the first attempt. Both Thompsons trying for it. It's Everett that had it for a moment, still chasing after it behind the net. Stoya controls it. Along the near side, Stoya banks it off the far boards. McLean picks it up into the rocker zone. Far hash marks, holds it on the backhand. He's pickpocketed. Cody Oates knocks it away. Far side, Elias Thompson working on it. Slides to the blue line. Johnson keeps it in. Hits his own player. Stoya throws on net. Swallowed up by Blake Scott. 12:49 to go. First period. Still 1-0. Motor City in the lead.
One thing I like that the Rockers are doing, they're definitely keeping the Prowlers to the outside edges, mucking up the middle. And you saw Stoya as he came passing the slot, thought he had an opportunity to make that shot. Blake Scott was waiting for him the entire time, squared him up. It was a one-on-one easy save for Blake. This guy, since he's been taken over, has been playing really, really good hockey in really key moments.
Well, he's been playing a good 3 periods and change against Port Huron. As Perks brings it up into the zone from the right side, bottom of the circle. Backhand feed goes all the way to Vanderweel. Slap shot, doesn't make it to the net. Cardinal Lambden poking at it, and Rodrigue will freeze it. There's been chaos in front of the net.
Yes, it has. And last night, Cade Lambden scored in the second period. It was his first goal since right before Thanksgiving on November 23rd. He almost got his second goal in as many nights. He is feisty.
You know he has the ability to score, just hasn't always showed up on the stat sheet.
No, yeah.
It's not from a lack of ability. Lambden loses a stick in front of the net. I think he was trying to politic for a slash, never came. In neutral ice. A Prowler hits the ice, and there's the right hand.
There it is.
The VAR official will give us our first penalty kill of the night. Tommy Cardinal heads to the box without much of a fight. And with 12:15 to go in the first period, it is time for the first penalty kill, brought to you by Kustra Law. For all your legal needs around the Metro Detroit area, including getting out of the penalty box, visit KustraLaw.com.
Yeah, anytime you put a stick near a blade, it's going to be tripping no matter what. Thought maybe there wasn't going to be a call, caught it out of the corner of my eye. The official on the far end, who had the clear side of that ice, put his hand up and made the right call.
Good start to the penalty kill. Clear off the draw. Federley working downhill to the right side. Jay takes it into the zone, right wing circle. Low slot pass across, it's tipped in. 1-1 game off the stick of Frank Schumacher. Took the Prowlers just 16 seconds into the man advantage to knock this up.
You would think it was a home goal the way the crowd's reacting here, but yeah, no, Frank Schumacher did exactly what you're supposed to do. Crashed that net perfectly. Dalton Jay not afraid to make the extra pass. Made the extra pass, and it's a good goal.
Well, still hasn't scored a goal in a while against Motor City, but certainly set that one up with the cross ice pass.
Well, he is making Motor City pay with assists. You know, he's not getting in the net, but he's getting on the score sheet in bunches. He knows he's going to be shaded there, and it makes sense. 28th assist on the year for Dalton Jay, and we have a brand new hockey game. Stoya, top the right wing circle, pass doesn't make it through traffic. Colton got his leg on it. Left wing circle, shot. Looks like it hit off the mask of Scott, far corner. Both sides jousting for the puck. Rockers, 3-on-2 if they hurry. To the right wing, throwing on net. Patted away with the blocker. Backhand keeps it in the zone from Everett Thompson. Inger chases after it. Slides to neutral ice. Suffredini on his own blue line dissects the defense. Two-line pass tipped by Koash, and it was actually a shot on net. Rodrigue had to step in front of it. Line change for Motor City, and Blake Scott will cover it up. All ones on the scoreboard, 1-1 with 11:11 to go in the first period. This has been a continuation of really what this rivalry's been all year. There's been more close games than not. Yeah, it's been a lot of close games, and of course, this last night, Motor City finally got a 7-6 edge in this rivalry. So not only have games been close, but they've been pretty back and forth as well. I mean, Motor City did have a stretch where they led the rivalry by about 3 games, but Port Huron, who's been struggling in their last 5, has used Motor City to get back on the right side of the bed. And, you know, anything can happen when you're facing a rivalry. You're playing inspired, you play good hockey, and that's what Port Huron does when they face Motor City.
Absolutely. Motor City working the puck out of the zone. Thackerberry chasing with Lambden. Miguel Diaz will pick it up on the center ice logo. Backhand feed far side. Oakes sends it in, banks off the back wall. Picked up by Perks. Back to the blue line. Oakes keeps it in. Walks up, throws on net. Tip still loose, and it goes just wide of the net.
Man, that was a close one.
Down the right wing. Merritt backhand. Give and go. Merritt never knew where it was on the return feed. Into neutral ice, Thackerberry. Flips it diagonally deep into the zone. Oakes in the corner, pinned on the boards. Port Huron comes away with it, back to the blue line. Johnson settles it down, horseshoes around. Near corner, both sides fighting for it. Graham goes to the ice, coming away with it. Miguel Diaz. Can Motor City get out of the zone? They do. Gaudette triangulated as he gives it right side. Walking in, shot, and it's blockered away. Might have been high and wide anyway. Comes all the way back down to the Motor City end. More than halfway through the first period. We're all knotted up at 1 between Port Huron and Motor City. Near side. Feed goes up, tipped by Ryder. Back to neutral ice. On the blue line, Vanderweel. Rink wide pass has no home. Federley will dump it in for Port Huron. Jay behind the net, had a feed for Foley, a point blank shot, and he barely got anything on it. Up the near side, Gaudette flips it right to Brian Parsons of Port Huron. Ryder sends it in the zone, chasing after it, working with Parsons. 2 battling for it. Parsons on top of Ryder. Ryder still comes away with the puck, uses his speed to the far side. Centers in front, and Inger tips it in. Thompson tried to go between the legs from a tough angle. Just throw it on net, hoping something would happen.
Is that a Wolverine or is that Brad Ryder? Seriously.
Right? He earned a rest after that shift.
I was going to say, he was playing angry. You like it, though. You like the intensity. You like that battle to come out with the puck as well. Almost turned into a goal.
Inger to the near side, Koash throws it to the far boards. No one home to pick it up. McLean over the red line. Take it over the blue himself. Top of the right wing circle, holds it on the forehand, works behind the net. Wrap around, saved by Scott. He'll cover it up. 8:25 to go in the first period. We're knotted up at 1. So let's take this moment to check the shots on goal, see if anything else has happened around the Fed. Ben.
Well, Motor City, they've been ravenous around that net. They have the lead now. Shots on goal 13-6 over Port Huron. Nothing else has changed in the Fed. The last time we checked, Elmira, Binghamton still tied at 0. Watertown and Danbury still tied at 0. Again, the other two games have not dropped the puck just yet. Delaware, Columbus, Carolina, and Mississippi still waiting for those games to get underway as well. But the three games they're playing right now, the only ones with points on the board is right here at Big Boy Arena.
These two teams usually don't play low-scoring affairs.
No.
They usually like to get the goals going. Last night was a bit of an anomaly with the shutout. Well, really, shutouts in the Fed aren't as common as you would have in other leagues.
No, I mean, and that's for a combination of things, right? You have a lot of guys that can score goals. You still have guys, and a lot of people say, the Fed is a lower quality hockey. A lot of these guys do have NHL shots. A lot of these guys can get goals, can score from various angles. Koash, the other night, had a weird shallow angle goal that, beat Wyatt. It was the weirdest goal. But again, these guys know how to pick their spots, pick their angles. So scoring is going to happen a lot in this league. A lot of people don't realize it. And you see it when you watch the NHL games. You see it when you watch the ECHL. Does not matter. Goaltenders' nights on a night in and night out basis is very, very tough. So getting a shutout is kind of almost uncommon. It's nice to see, but you don't see it a lot.
No, you do not. Neither side getting a shutout tonight. Just trying to shut that back door, the Zamboni door. Doesn't want to get stuck. And the other thing in the Fed, you'll see guys sacrifice some defense to try to generate offense. Some teams just want to trade chances, work up and down. That's their style. Not as, I don't want to use the word discipline, but not as defensive oriented as some other leagues.
No, and again, it is strategy. You can leak out behind people, create breakaways. If you don't bail at the right time, if you know a team isn't disciplined along the blue line, you can easily do that, connect on stretch passes. And a lot of guys are totally okay racing up and down the ice. We've seen it here at Big Boy Arena for home games. It is what it is, right? It's not a knock on any team's systems. Some guys want to take over a game, and that happens when they do that. Also, some guys decide I'm not going to play defense and just you kind of hang around, the 50-foot area. So
off the draw, shot loose out in front, backhand, and it finds the back of the net. From in close, the rebound makes it 2-1 Port Huron, just like that. Dan Chartrand gets his 7th of the season. And as quickly as Motor City got the lead as the game started, Port Huron has their first. 8:19 to go in the first.
Yeah, that one could have been a one that, Blake Scott should have saved. The first goal, no goaltender in the world had a chance at. But that one, he came out, tried to play the puck, it just went underneath. You just take what you can get, tip the cap to Chartrand, getting his 7th of the year.
Well, the scoreboard lighting up here in the first, 2-1, Port Huron in the lead. Along the near boards, Chartrand pickpocketed, Cardinal tries to slide it across, it's picked off. Port Huron working on an odd man rush if they hurry. Devaney, top of the right wing circle, shoots wide right of the net. Perks chasing it down, whiffs on a backhand. Johnson sends it into zone. Port Huron offside. They have to touch up. They'll use the opportunity to take a line change. Perks carries into the zone as Motor City spills over the boards. Perks through a double team, holding the puck in deep. Gaudette coming as reinforcement. 7:30 to go, first period. 2-1. Port Huron leads Motor City, so if you were worried about Port Huron scoring or hoping it would continue from last night, Port Huron has a little pent-up aggression. They've unleashed it here in the first period.
Well, again, they use Motor City to get themselves right. They always do, and they do. And the thing that's weird about it, they do it here at Big Boy Arena a lot.
Ryder offside will get a whistle. Bring it out to the neutral zone.
Because just because the question has to be asked. We know Blake Scott had a great night last night, but we know Trevor Babin's back. How many goals does it take for Scott to get pulled and Babin to come in?
I think you'd have to get any other time. Again, Coach Brown, he rides the hot hand.
Well, he knows what he's doing.
Right.
But that's what I'm asking.
Because when Babin's in net, hey, he would play 4, 5, 6 games in a row. And there have been some good performances for Blake Scott against one of his former teams and trying to ride the hot hand. And again, like you said, the first goal, in no way his fault. Right. Second one, a rebound, not the best, but I think if these were 2 bad goals, you'd start to have that discussion, but Port Huron can score, and those were 2 that Scott, the second one, like you said, not the best one, but there have been worse goals scored. Well, if it was like the first one Motor City scored, then you might have that discussion on the bench.
Well, right, and that's why I just kind of bring it up, because people at home that are watching this game, they know Trevor Babin's available. They're thinking that question. Again, I'm not blaming Blake for the night that he's having right now. I'm just wondering, is it 4? Is it 3?
Again, I think context really matters. Motor City going back on the penalty kill. Nick Miguel Diaz heads to the box for a cross check. 6:27 to go in the first. Port Huron has a chance to go up 2 goals. Going on the Kustra Law penalty kill. For all your legal needs, including getting Nick Miguel Diaz out of the penalty box, visit KustraLaw.com. Off the draw, quick clear. Rodriguez comes out of the crease to play it. He leaves it behind the net. Stoya down the middle of the ice. To the near side, Johnson takes it over the red and the blue. Right wing hash, stops in the corner. Taking his time. Gives to Merritt, returns to Johnson, to the point to Stoya. Looking right side, Johnson, right wing circle, walks in, pressured, gives back to Stoya. 30 seconds elapsed on the penalty kill for Motor City. To the left side. In deep. Foley takes his time. Devaney across to Johnson, has to bank off the boards, returns to the point to Stoya. Shot gets tipped by Foley high and wide. Port Huron recovers, 1:10 left to go in the penalty kill. Johnson, right wing circle up to Stoya, one-timer high and wide again. Port Huron again gets the rebound midway through the penalty kill. Cross ice, one-timer, didn't get all of it, and Motor City can get the clear and more importantly get some fresh legs on the ice.
Yeah, Johnson just out of reach of his stick. It was a good clear there by, I believe it was Ryder. Maybe it was Landon, because I think we have a whole new 4 on the ice.
37 seconds to go in the power play for Port Huron. 5:01 to go in the first period. Port Huron trying to extend their 2-1 lead. Jay over the red line, pass hits the skate of Ryder. In deep, Colton takes a whack at it, can't get it out of the zone, but Ryder shovels it with the backhand in deep. 20 seconds in time for maybe one more rush for Port Huron if they hurry. Federally to the left side, Schumacher into the zone to Graham. Return to Schumacher, wasn't there. 8 seconds left to go. Federally walks up to the top of the circle, shot high and wide. Still loose, 3 seconds left to go on the penalty kill. We're back to 5-on-5 hockey. Thompson couldn't get the tape-to-tape pass. He was offside. If it was a perfect pass, you might have a 2-on-1 for Motor City.
Yeah, just fought the puck a little bit there was ET, but if he carries it, you have a 2-on-1, maybe a 3-on-1. Just couldn't cleanly accept that pass from Koash.
Heinzel back in his own zone, D-to-D pass to Minnie. Inger pressuring, 4 minutes left to go in the opening period, 2-1. Port Huron in the lead after the Dan Chartrand backhand goal. Motor City taking their time. Flips it into the Port Huron zone, Minnie. Bank pass to Merritt, brings it in on the backhand. Left side, finds Devaney over the left part of the net. shots from Port Huron haven't been calibrated here in the last couple of minutes. Ringing off the glass a lot.
Yeah, but again, they're kind of shooting for rebounds. They don't care if they're high. They don't care if they're wide. They're just trying to create some. Oh, there's a big hit.
Big hit indeed. Here the stick taps on the bench.
Oh, another hit along the boards.
Motor City throwing their weight around. Vanderweel over the blue line, but offside, I believe. We'll get a whistle. Time for a final media timeout of the first period. 2-1 Port Huron in the lead, but Ben, what are the shots, and has anyone else scored in the Fed tonight?
Well, Port Huron has added 4 shots on goal. They still trail, though, 10-13 in that category. Of course, the power plays helping out in that category, and no one else has scored in the Fed so far. Here's us, you and I, talking about there's goal scoring. It's hard to get a shutout, and the other 2 games that are going on in the 3, we're the only one with goals.
You watch, we'll get in the second period, and one of those other 2 games going on will be 6-2, and it'll be a flurry of goals, because sometimes in this league that's how it happens. It
comes in spurts.
Once the dam breaks, it's hard. Can't get the toothpaste back in the tube some nights.
No, we've seen that here too, though. Heck, Watertown, last time they were here, the second game, that thing just turned ugly quickly.
Especially when teams start to get desperate and go hyper offensive focus, they give up opportunities on the other end. That's when you see the scores explode. 3 goals scored here in the first period, 2 for Port Huron, 1 for Motor City. 3 minutes, 12 seconds to go until our first intermission. Ryder in the dot for Motor City. Tie up. Makema came away with it for a moment. Oakes picks it up in the neutral zone, sends it back over his own blue line for a moment. Miguel Diaz pass hits the stick of Makema, poked back to neutral ice. Oakes will throw it in deep off the low glass to the left corner. Henning, the veteran, sends to the middle to Stoya. Looking for the breakout. Can't find the tape of Foley. He chases after it. Miguel Diaz will win the race in the right corner. Pinned to the boards. Trying to get it out of the rocker zone. Henning sends a pass that didn't make it through a whole lot of traffic. Oakes into the Port Huron zone. Picked up by Stoya for a moment. Ryder working behind with Gaudet. Slides out in front. Foley sends it to safety along the near half wall. Ryder behind the net, out in front, and Makema was shaded heavily by the captain, Henning.
Yeah, that's just a good play by Henning. Tipped the cap there, lifting the stick at the right time. Didn't know if anything was going to come of that.
Yeah, it just looks like the peace will be kept for the moment.
Yeah.
But Henning, the veteran, might not be the fastest guy out there, but he knew Makema's the hot hand. He was staying in front, and he's not letting anyone get a chance from point blank like that.
Oh yeah, no. When you're 6 feet out like that, you were gonna risk a slashing penalty to lift a stick, because at that point it's like basketball. It's a good foul, and again, kudos to Henning getting it cleanly, lifting Makema's stick at the right time and preventing a goal.
Off the draw, clean when Inger throws it right into the belly of Rodrigue. We'll redo the draw. 2 seconds have come off the clock. Still 2-1 Port Huron. Motor City's had their opportunities, and ironically, it's been their worst shot of the bunch. That's probably been their only goal.
That's what happens when you get a good screen in front, right?
Yeah. Shot goes wide right, again, screening in front of the net. Motor City maintains possession. Sufferdini in the corner, backhand pickoff by Federley. Port Huron working up in and out of the zone. Knocked away, Colton knocks it down for the Rockers, but it's sent all the way down. Will it have enough momentum to get over the end line? It will not. Everett Thompson to Coash on the far side. Port Huron on the attack. Our left corner, Graham backhands in front, doesn't make it to the front, returns to Graham, shot, Johnson off the rebound, brings it back, 95 seconds to go in the first. Port Huron trying to add a late goal, add to their lead going into the locker room. Right side, into the zone. Battle for it, Johnson takes it away. Skating up the near side, Thackeray. Thompson goes through Thackeray. That one looked like it didn't feel good. In close, Lambden shot goes wide. That was a tough angle. Rebound bounces by. Rodrigue facing a lot of bullets flying in front of him.
Feeling like Neo in the Matrix. He's dodging, dipping, and dodging again because you have to, of course, another movie reference, the 5 rules of dodgeball. But dodging those bullets successfully, none of them have gone in. He's been at the right place at the right time. Of course, some of those shots have been errant.
43 seconds left to go, opening stanza, 2-1 Port Huron. Chartrand lost it, gets it back in the right corner, bringing it up to the near hash marks, throws parallel with the end line, many there to recover it, keeps it in deep. Milam working back there, corralled by Devaney to the near half wall. Centers it, poked away, barely kept it on the blue line, misses to the left, 15 seconds left to go first period. Motor City trying to relieve some pressure and get to the locker room. Off the high glass, it stays in play. Perks chasing after 4 seconds. Devaney will just leave it back. Time will run out, and Port Huron will take a 2-1 advantage into the first intermission. We'll take a look at intermission stats brought to you by Triumph Geared Solutions. Machinist jobs are available right now here in Metro Detroit. Visit careers.triumphgroup.com to learn more. Ben, 3 goals in that first period. If someone just joined us, walk them down how it happened. And again, one more update before we take a break ourselves.
Yeah, well, Motor City is out shooting Port Huron 15-10 here in the first period, though they trail on the scoreboard 2-1. The good news is Motor City got on the board first. It was very, very quickly, 54 seconds into the period. Everett Thompson passed it to Danny Vanderweel right at the point, feathered a shot over the left shoulder of Danny Rodrigue. It was a 1-0 game at that point. Then Port Huron used the power play, got healthy on the man advantage. Austin Federley fed the puck to Dalton Jay. It was on the near side. Dalton Jay then hit Frank Schumacher, crashing in front. Beautiful little tap-in goal for Frank, and it was knotted up at 1. And then 3 minutes later, Dan Chartrand picked up a rebound right in front, went right in the 5-hole with the backhand, just beating Blake Scott. And that is how we are at 2-1 here at Big Boy Arena. And still, nothing else has been resolved around the Fed. Binghamton and Elmira still tied at 0. Danbury and Watertown still tied at 0. And we are 4 minutes away from Delaware and Columbus dropping the puck down in Columbus, Georgia. And we are still 19 minutes away from Carolina and Mississippi doing battle as well.
So Ben, real quick, final thoughts on the first period. What's the message in the Rockers locker room as they take their first break?
Well, honestly, the message, if I'm Gordy, I just say, guys, keep doing what you're doing, crashing the net. We've had some good looks. We've had excellent looks. Keep screening Rodrigue. Just keep screening him in front. Things are going to happen. We saw Everett Thompson crash the net for a rebound, just didn't get a finger on the trigger, was just a hair late, and then that puck didn't go in. So, just keep doing what you're doing. Work on the bail a little bit better. We've noticed on the defensive end, they're really kind of almost still building a wall in between the hashes with their forwards. They're really condensing. I like what they're doing there. I wouldn't change that up because, of course, if you can get a turnover, you can have 3 guys chasing with the puck all at once. So I really wouldn't change anything. Again, that first goal was a special goal. You're not going to stop that one. If you are a god. I mean, let's just put it that, the god or the Flash. Take your pick. So that one you can't really fault Blake Scott for. And the second one, again, he was down making the save, tried to push the puck out with his stick. Can't fault him for that either. So I don't really change much of anything, if I'm being honest. The Rockers are playing hard, they're playing tough, making offense tough for the Prowlers. So I'm not changing a whole heck of a lot.
Only thing you can maybe ask for, see if you can draw a penalty and get on the man advantage yourself, make it easier to knot it up. So after 20 minutes of play, Port Huron leads Motor City 2-1. We'll step aside for a bit. We'll come back with second period in action in a moment. You're watching Motor City Rockers hockey. Back here in Big Boy Arena, about 90 seconds away from second period action. Port Huron with a 2-1 lead over Motor City. Fairly well played first period, had a good amount of flow. Port Huron converted their 2 chances. Motor City got an early goal, maybe one that Danik Rodriguez would want back. But Ben, all in all, I thought it was a well-played 20 minutes of hockey for both sides.
It was a great, 20 minutes. I was just talking to Will Wiggleman, obviously voice of the Prowlers, in between periods. Good friend of ours. He was saying that even last night, this first period that we just had was better than the one that was happening last night. Obviously, Port Huron getting a couple of goals, but after they didn't do anything last night, they went to a shell, and we know obviously the rest of the story. It was a great 20 minutes, a really, again, impressive power play goal by Port Huron, but it's been close. It's been very back and forth. The second period should be just as interesting.
Yes, indeed it should. Ryder standing in the face-off dot. He stares across to Evan Foley. Stoya saunters his way to the far circle. Prowlers going right to left, Rockers left to right, and we are underway in the middle frame. Makema on the backhand brings it in along the far boards, shovels in deep. Gaudette working behind the net. Port Huron comes away with it. Thackeray up to the middle of the zone. Stoya throws wide of the net, out past the outstretched glove of Scott. Gaudette using the big body to create separation. Patient pass to the near side. Milam, it's up and still in neutral ice. Gaudette has to wait for some of his teammates to touch up.
Yeah, that was smart. Cross ice pass, allow guys to touch up at the right time. Still maintain possession. Smart thinking there by Roman.
Despite losing at the end of the first, Motor City outshot Port Huron 15-10. See if they keep that high volume effort in. Shot goes just wide from Inger, just slid it on the ice, bit wide of the post. Up the right side for Port Huron, McLean. Lost the handle on it as he gave back to Merritt. Ryder behind his own net. And Ben Ryder's been a guy we've talked about all year. The measuring tape says he's a little small, but he does not play like his size. He will play and go up against anyone of any size in the league. Maybe not, he won't drop the gloves, but in the corners, he'll battle for the pucks. He'll get in the dirty areas. He does all the little things really well.
He really does. He's a guy that is just relentless. He sees red when he sees the puck, and he's a guy that will battle. We saw it in the first period. Went down low, came out with the puck, and he's just that type of guy. Now, Cade Lambden's a guy who will throw punches. Cade Lambden is a guy who's smaller than Brad Ryder, and I say this lovingly, he has a Napoleon complex. He will stand up to anybody. Doesn't matter how tall you are, he has a slingshot and he's going to take you down. But yeah, no, we like the way the guys are playing. They're playing hard, they're playing tough. Just got to get a couple more in the back of the net.
Just over a minute and a half into period number 2. Port Huron holding on to a slim 2-1 lead. Tie up off the draw. Port Huron controls. Henning, the veteran, shovels it along the near boards. Chartrand across the ice, goes by a couple sticks. Suffredini chops at it. Over the red line, sent back in. Suffredini there to receive it in his own end. Rink wide pass to Thompson. Across the red line, Thompson will bring it inside the blue. Bottom of the right circle, hits off the helmet mask of Rodriguez. Goes to safety. Rang the bell, and Port Huron gives him a little time to recover. Chartrand shot still loose, and Suffredini couldn't get it. And Scott, on a second effort, had to get on top of that. Never like to see the puck just sitting outside the crease.
No, Scott was a little stunned after that first save. He had a hard time sliding over to the far side post. You could tell he took that puck a little bit hard in the chest. Maybe got the wind knocked out of him just a little bit. Uh-oh. Hey, here we go. We're talking about cages a few moments ago. He was about to get into a tussle with Chartrand, but back to the point, though. Blake did the smart thing. He was struggling a little bit, saw the puck come out in front, covered it up, said, hey, guys, let's reset. I need to reset. I need a break. Just a good play. He just was a little bit delayed getting right back up.
17:52 and counting in the middle frame. 2-1 Port Huron. Motor City with the puck up the near side. Oakes tries to work over all 3 lines, left the puck back at the red line. Perks in front of his own net, surveys, sends to Cardinal. He has to soccer it to himself. Graham gets a turnover behind the net up top to Parsons. Walks up, throws on net, it's deflected wide. Still loose, Cardinal picks it up, working up and out of the zone. Lambden poked away at center ice. Miguel Diaz trying to clean it up. Federley pins him to the boards. Puck hops into the Port Huron zone, controlled by Parsons. Sends to Graham, touches it back. to Minnie. Big defenseman up the far side to Graham. Feeds to Federley from the right wing. Hash marks, block it away. Jay was looking for the rebound, hopped over his stick. Perks, left side, Minnie blew out a tire. Perks couldn't quite get to the puck in time. Both sides starting to feel each other out a little bit here in the second period. No side really dominated play through the first 3 minutes.
No side really did, but Dalton Jay got really close to getting 2 goals. Dalton Jay doing a good job just pestering around that net, trying to get a goal. It's been a while since he's got, too many men on Port Huron. There you go. You were talking about Brady. Get something, get back on the power play. Too many men.
I'm not going to complain how they do it, but as far as penalties goes, that's not one you draw, but you're not going to complain about too many men.
Well, no, you're not going to, exactly, you're not going to draw, but I heard the whistle, so I stopped. I'm like, why? And then I saw the spin around. So, yeah, too many men. Serving time for Port Huron is going to be, who is it going to be? Trying to think. I'm drawing a blank. I don't know why. Joe Devaney. Wow.
We'll go on the Digital Macomb Indoor Billboards Power Play. Reach over 100,000 people in 1 month all around Macomb County. Visit digitalmacomb.com. First chance on the power play. Suffredinho, howitzer gets deflected before it can reach the net. Schumacher sacrificed his body. Far corner. Back up, goes by Coash. Cross to Colton, walks up to the right circle. Center, Suffredini. Far side, Coash sends it. Patted away into the far corner. 30 seconds into the power play for Motor City, looking to knot it up at 2. Heinzel brings it in behind the net, whiffs on the clearing opportunity. Battle for it along the near boards. Both sides poking at it. Thompson uses his body, creates some separation, comes away with the puck. Suffredini at the point. 1:12 to go in the man advantage. Shot deflected wide. In the corner, Heinzel pins his man to the boards. And we get a whistle on the freeze. 1:04 to go in the power play. 15:47 to go in the second period. Motor City trying to knot this game up to 2.
Yeah, one thing that I do like, the way Everett Thompson's screening in front, you need a bigger body in front of the net, especially on a power play, but he has the wherewithal to catch the puck and rim it back around and make sure his defenders can man the blue line in case something like this happens.
Puck gets sent into the Rockers zone, less than half the power play to work with. Milam works the breakout. The savvy veteran sends to the near side to Makema. Diagonal rink wide pass, doesn't find a home. Graham chips it back inside the Rockers end. Milam with the backhand. Over to Vanderweel. He has the lone goal for Motor City. Gaudette to the left side. Working behind the net. Gaudette in the corner. Slips up, Milam, 30 seconds left to go in the Rockers power play. Vanderweel up top to Milam, fakes the shot, left side, shot, and it's tipped up in the air off the stick of Rodriguez, still in play. 19 seconds left to go in the 5-on-4. Far hash marks, up top Milam lets the shot go, tipped, and it's blocked away once again by Rodriguez. He just put himself in position. Under 10 seconds left to go in the too many men minor. Backhanded, left wing circle, Milam. Down to 3 seconds. Has a look. It's loose out in front, and Vanderweel was just a half a step away from banging home the rebound. Back to 5-on-5 hockey. Vanderweel, bottom of the right wing circle. Puck flips up and out of play. Will we get a delay of game?
We should.
And it looks like we will. So the penalty ends, and you blink. Port Huron going right back to the box. But before we go back on the Rockers power play, take our media timeout. Motor City trailing 2-1 to Port Huron. But Ben, let's update everyone on shots. And has someone else scored in the Fed yet?
Well, shots have favored Motor City thanks to the power play. 7-3 here in the second period. 22-13 overall in the game. Around the Fed, we have a goal. Binghamton leads Elmira 1-0 as the Black Bears were able to get a goal in the second period. And then, of course, Danbury and Watertown still scoreless. Delaware and Columbus still scoreless. And we're just getting underway in Mississippi. Carolina and Mississippi still scoreless. But again, that puck just dropped a few moments ago.
Looks like Brian Parsons heading to the sin bin for Port Huron, and we'll go right back on the power play, brought to you by Digital Macomb Indoor Billboards. You can reach over 100,000 people in 1 month all around Macomb County by visiting digitalmacomb.com. Ben, Motor City didn't score on that last power play, but they sustained pressure and they had a few good chances. I'm assuming you want to see a lot of the same coming up.
Yeah, I do. One thing I really liked out of that last power play, Jamie Milam getting that shot confidence. He has a hard shot and a quick shot. We saw Makema, deflect one in front. We saw Ryder deflect another one. I like just, again, peppering the net like that. Milam getting that shot confidence. He's not aiming. He's just shooting to put the puck on net, shooting for that rebound. I really like that. I hope they continue.
Colton takes it off the draw for Motor City. 14 and a half minutes to go in the second period. Motor City chasing one. Colton, right side, D-to-D pass to Sufferdini. Sends back to Koash on the right wing. Diagonal pass broken up by Schumacher, throws on net, stick behind. Pile for it. Two black, two white jerseys fighting for it. Pinned across the boards. Schumacher, fine with wasting as much time as possible. Koash backhands it back to Colton. Across the way to Sufferdini, 30 seconds has left. Colton from the point, and it's swallowed up by Rodrigue. He put himself in position, and will have a little extra pushing and shoving after. Remember, last night we had about 85% of the night's penalties come in an 11-second span at the end of the second period.
Yeah, that 11 seconds, I think, was the longest 11 seconds in history. Felt like it took eternity, but a lot to get sorted out at the scores table. One thing, though, I really liked, and they're still going at it, Everett Thompson and Stoya. Thompson put his stick out in front. If he was, and this is hard to do, don't get me wrong, but if you do it just a half second earlier, that's a goal. He was just a little bit late on the deflection. Instead, it went right in to Rodrigue's stomach instead of underneath his pads. Like the effort. Again, I like these shots out front. Get a deflection in front. Make Rodrigue work for it. And so far, Motor City has done it so far with these power plays.
Off the draw, puck bounces into the neutral ice. Motor City will have to reset. 1:20 left to go in the Parsons delay a game penalty. 13:50 to go in the second period. 2-1 Port Huron. Big hit. Knocks Heinzel to the ground, but Milam at his own blue line, pressured by Chartrand, banks it off the boards to himself. Chartrand fighting for it. Loose, Graham slides it into the zone, only to be retrieved by Vanderweel. Nowhere to send in Port Huron, stifling the Motor City power play on their second attempt. Puck goes right into the glove of Scott, catches the pop-up, and he sets it down. 47 seconds left to go in the power play. Up the left side. The bottom of the left wing circle, across, no, behind the net, and another clear attempt that didn't get a lot of it, but it'll slide all the way into the Rockers' end. 33 seconds left to go in the power play.
Yeah, the second power play, not as crisp as the first, say that 5 times fast, but so hopefully you can make something of it with the last 20 seconds here. You can make up.
Port Huron gets another clear. Sufferdini looking for one final rush. 15 seconds to work with on the man advantage, still more than half the period to go. Koash horseshoes it around, grabbed on the far corner, racing behind, 7 seconds left to go until Brian Parsons comes out of the box for Port Huron. Sufferdini, near side, walks it into the corner, pass across, and Inger couldn't get the stick on it. Looked like it was Schumacher that tied him up.
Yeah, Inger was right there on the doorstep. Again, we've seen that 3 times tonight where Motor City's had a man right in front of the blue paint and just not able to put a finger on the trigger.
Inger goes down. He's slow to get back up. Motor City with the puck. Inger will slowly make his way to the bench. Lambden replaces him. Stick still sitting in the center of the ice. 12 minutes to go, second period, 2-1. Port Huron in the lead on the road here at Motor City. McLean over center ice. Slowly slides it in. Stoya chases it in the left corner. Stoya along the near boards. Loses it. Thompson throws a hit. Perks picks it up over the Rocker logo into the Port Huron zone. Left wing circle. Perks behind the net. Feeds the Cardinal. Couldn't find the tape. Hits off the skate. Port Huron working the other way. Merritt into the zone. Barely onside. Merritt leaves it back for Devaney. Sends in deep. Miguel Diaz knocked to the knees for a second. Gets back up. Motor City trading rushes right now. Lambden on the left side. He lost it. It is Thackeray That picks it up for Port Huron. Thackeray, middle of the ice, throws wide, bangs. Scott keeps it behind the net. 11:05 to go, second period. Still 2-1 Port Huron, looking for the first goal in the middle frame. Johnson at the point, left side, and it's knocked away on the shot by Chartrand. The blocker of Blake Scott got in the way. Oakes to the right side, Cardinal. Right wing opportunity, pass across, and it hops over the stick of Landon, maybe a bit too far as well. An opportunity goes by the wayside for Motor City. Port Huron on the counterattack, back to Minnie on the blue line. Minnie walks in point blank, and he rings the post. Had an opportunity again, both sides trading chances. Minnie again, and this time knocked away by Scott. He'll sprawl out, and he will get the save. 10:29 to go in the second period. Now some fists being thrown. About as hectic of a sequence as you can ask for. At least someone's going to the penalty box.
Yeah, I think Federley is the one that's going to go. And of course I say that, Tommy Cardinal is the one who gets escorted.
So Cardinal heads to the sin bin. We'll wait to sort this all out. See if he's the only one. 10:29 to go in the second period. As Gino Minnie hit the post, you'll see the sponsorship on the crossbar. Iconic Goaltending has clinics here in Metro Detroit for young goaltenders looking to improve their game. Information on private lessons, team skates, and performance analysis can be found at iconicgoaltending.com. So after that hectic sequence, Port Huron goes back on the power play where they've already converted once tonight. Tommy Cardinal heads to the box for 2 minutes. Now they're checking Alex Johnson. Is he going to get tossed for equipment malfunction? Remember, it happened to Tommy Cardinal about a month ago. Johnson just heads back to the bench.
It's funny you say that, Brady. I was thinking the exact same thing.
I couldn't tell what equipment was off. That does make a difference. We go back on the Kustra Law penalty kill for all your legal needs, including getting yourself out of the penalty box. Visit KustraLaw.com.
So roughing's going to be the call on Cardinal. So we got that. Of course, there was some pushing and shoving after the play, and I think Cardinal did punch into the chest area thinking he could hide it from an official. Because I saw an official point down. I thought it was Federley. That's my mistake. They were pointing to Cardinal. That's how you get the roughing.
Offensive zone draw for Motor City, down a man. Ryder ties it up, goes cleanly back after a second effort for Port Huron. Stoya in his own zone, cross ice pass right to the stick of Ryder. Sends it back to his own blue line, only to be dumped in diagonally. 20 seconds elapsed on the penalty to Cardinal. Midway through the second period, yet to see a goal in the middle frame. 2-1 Port Huron in the lead. Merritt over the blue line for Port Huron to Foley. Backhand attempt goes into the corner. Merritt chases after it, back to Johnson near the right point. Pass just a bit off the mark. Story retreats to neutral ice, waits for his fellow Prowlers to touch up. 1:20 left to go in the man advantage for Port Huron. Near side, Ryder pokes it away, didn't have numbers, looking for a pass up to Gaudette, finds it right wing circle, puts a move on, and the shot doesn't get by Stoya. Couldn't get it through the wickets. 1:04 left to go in the Cardinal roughing minor. Port Huron trying to get a sustained rush offensively. Johnson to Jay, the leading scorer, can't handle it. It's knocked back into the neutral zone. Motor City doing a nice job on this penalty kill so far.
Yeah, Motor City doing a good job keeping things in front of them. Clearing the puck when they have the opportunity to. They just got to kill the next 45 seconds.
Federley to Jay. Middle of the ice, a lot of traffic in front, sent across to Stoya. From the point to Federley, top of the left wing circle. Stick handling back to the middle, down to 33 seconds on the Cardinal minor. Stoya in front of the blue line. Glides to the far side of the ice, surveys the scene, pass across, tic-tac-toe passing, not there. And it stays out of the net. 20 seconds left to go. Patient Prowlers power play. Stoya throws wide right of the net. Federley cleans up the rebound. Dozen seconds left to go. Shot swallowed up by Scott. And we'll have a whistle. We'll have a face-off to the right of Blake Scott. Motor City 11 seconds away from killing off a key penalty here in the middle frame.
Yeah, let's go back a couple of moments on that bouncing save by Blake Scott. Was able to slide at the right time. Got a baby toe on it on the far side post, keeping that puck out. doing a great job in net is Blake Scott. He's, again, let in a couple of tough goals, but recovered nicely right here on the power play.
Near dot, Graham barks out a few orders. He is the coach and GM of the Prowlers, along with one of their better players. 5 seconds. Shot from Schumacher, patted away into the corner. Down to a pair of seconds. Back to 5-on-5 hockey. Cross-ice pass, Federley couldn't get it cleanly. Motor City looking on the rush. Cardinal, right side. Henning shades him. Shot off the face mask of Rodrigue. Chaos still ensues. Net barely off the boarding. They let it play on. In close to the near corner. Koash back behind the net. In front, still loose, and now a cover. Net came even more off the moorings. Will end up being a non-issue this time. 8:05 to go in the second period. 2-1, Port Huron leading Motor City. Ben, it's been a hectic sequence since our last media timeout, but I think we need that timeout. The players need that timeout, and so do the fans, so you can update them on shots on goal and what's going on in the Fed.
Yeah, well, things have changed in the Fed, so you're going to want to stay tuned for that. But shots on goal so far here in the second period, 8-10, still favoring Motor City. They lead 25-18. Of course, they trail 2-1. Looking around the league, Binghamton has a 3-0 lead over Elmira, getting 3 goals in the second period. Nikita Ovechkin has 2. Jacob Walters has 1. That has been the difference so far. Danbury and Watertown still scoreless, and Columbus has a 1-0 lead thanks to Kirk Underwood's goal. 6:51 into the first period, as the River Dragons have a 1-0 lead over the Delaware Thunder.
Again, Delaware upset Columbus in a shootout last night down in the Chattahoochee Valley. Have to imagine that's a motivated Columbus team tonight.
Yeah, I mean, again, it is professional hockey. We talked about it earlier in the first period. You can't take anyone a little too lightly. But yeah, I mean, if you're Columbus, you are the top of the Continental Division for a reason, and you let one get away. And yes, Delaware, we all know the elephant in the room. They got their 4th win on the season. Everyone's played over 35 games at this point. So, of course, Columbus is probably going to come out with bad intentions on their mind and definitely want to bury the Thunder after what happened last night.
Offensive zone draw for Motor City, goes right to Port Huron. Devaney takes it out of his own zone, flips it into the Rockers. Devaney chasing after it, Oaks on his tail. Banks it off the near boards, back to Schumacher, top the left wing circle. Looks, fires, doesn't make it into the crease. Motor City brings it into safety off the high glass. Race after it will be won by Schumacher. 7:42 to go, second period, 2-1. Motor City trails Port Huron. Chartrand, backhand into the zone. Miguel Diaz banks it off the boards to the left side into the zone. Rink wide pass to Oaks. Brings it into the corner. Shot from a tough angle. Doesn't make it to Rodrigue. Ever since that first goal given up by Danik Rodrigue, let's be honest, wasn't the best one. He has stopped the last 25 shots in a row. Port Huron in their own zone. Pass up, gets knocked away from Devaney. Near boards. Back around, up to the far side. Backhand goes to McLean. 6:53 to go, middle frame. Stuck at 2-1, Port Huron in the lead. Stoya in his own end, rink wide pass to Minnie. Centers, Foley, touches it with the backhand. Cardinal in his own zone, takes it over his own blue line. Banks it up, Perks chases after it. Heinzel chops at it, near corner. Cardinal rings around the boards, Vanderweel keeps it in. The lone goal scorer for Motor City throws a shot, it's deflected out of play. We'll have a whistle and a draw.
You're a fan of the band Live by chance, Brady? Do you know who they are?
I cannot say I'm familiar with their catalog.
Do you know the song Lightning Crashes?
I can say I've probably heard that once or twice.
Okay, well, I was going to say, every time, Delaware is mentioned, I always think of that band and that song. It was a popular song in the 90s. I don't even know if you were born then. Maybe you were a thought in your parents' mind at that point?
96 kid.
Okay, well, still, anytime anyone mentions Delaware and the Thunder, I always think of that song for whatever reason. I just can't help it. Now, with Stoja being on the Prowlers, I'm a Polish background. Stola is what you say when you sing happy birthday to someone. So every time I see Stoja, I think happy birthday. I have a messed up mind, Brady. It's weird.
And it's in close and a goal. Scott got part of it, but Mini shot had too much behind it. 3-1 Port Huron, 6:04 to go in the middle frame.
Yeah, Mini got that one. Blake Scott got part of it. Just couldn't hold on to it. You could see Reuter go in at the last moment to try to get it out of the net, but he couldn't beat it as well. Again, that just a very hard shot by Gino Mini.
3 or 4 bodies in and around the crease. Scott didn't have a good look at it. 3 unanswered goals from Port Huron to take the multi-goal advantage.
It's only Gino Mini's second goal on the season.
Hard shot from in close. Scott stopped most of it, not all of it. Rodrigue will cover that puck up. We get an offensive zone draw, and now Motor City desperately needs the next goal.
You can tell Blake Scott's not happy with himself. Just took a lap to the near side boards. He's trying to get himself comfortable, get recalibrated, get locked in. A lot of goaltenders, to keep themselves active and engaged in a game when they're struggling, like to make those laps to the boards and back. You can tell he's not happy with himself.
Draw comes up, hits Federley in the mouth. Motor City keeps it in. Suffredini to the near side, shot sent wide. Everett Thompson able to keep it in, backhand for Koash. Chips it in deep. Inger couldn't handle it. Back to the far side. Thompson battling along the boards with Thackeray. Top of the left wing circle. Shot just wide left of the net. Rebound backhand. Still loose and the net comes off. Wouldn't have mattered. Rodrigue covered it up anyway. More chaos in front. Motor City just can't seem to get it past Rodrigue since that first shot.
No, they haven't, but I will say this. We're going to call back to the first period. Dante Suffredini was all alone. Went far side on Rodrigue. And you saw Everett Thompson right there. Got into the slot. Saw he was sliding. Where did he go? Back to the near side. He went there, tried to catch him sliding. It's where the percentages are. That's what I like when I see E.T. play on the ice. He thinks 2 steps ahead every time he has the puck, and he almost got one there and almost got a rebound goal as well.
Colton off the draw. Flips one into the chest of Rodrigue. Redo the draw. 2 seconds come off, and we'll get a new line for Port Huron. Koash awaits the duel in the face-off circle, and he'll turn around. Motor City will change in kind. We'll send new forwards onto the ice. Big body of Tim Perks. Heads to the dot. Goes against Merritt. On the draw, Merritt got more of it. Henning along the near side boards. A lot of different bodies battling for it. Goes to neutral ice. Big hit from Perks. Lambden in front of his own net for Motor City.
Oh, we got some pushing and shoving
Chartrand
behind
pushing
the
with
play.
Lambden behind the play. No whistle coming in. Now we're going to drop the gloves. Chartrand, Lambden, all alone. Lambden circling Chartrand, switches up, squares up, lefts from Chartrand. Lambden trying to get the advantage. Chartrand raining under uppercuts, and he gets Lambden to the ice. Lambden back up. Chartrand still going with the rights. Lambden trying to get back up. The jersey all over Lambden, and they'll keep going. Chartrand pulls him down from his shorts. And that'll do it. Chartrand spins the helmet on the center ice logo. And those two will sit out essentially the rest of the period.
I've never seen a hockey player spin their helmet like a football in a celebration manner, but Dan Chartrand was like the big brother, waiting for his little brother to make the move. Lambden obliged, and then after that it was all Dan Chartrand, landing about 6 or 7 blows. Got to give him the first round card. It was a first round knockout for Dan Chartrand. But the one thing behind the play, I know you're recalling the action, Brady. Chartrand hit Lambden at the end boards. Lambden took exception to it. Chartrand hit him again, and there was no call, no hand. It went up. It went right in front of an official, and that's what led to that fight. Lambden just had enough, didn't want to be pushed around. Again, just took the wrong side of that fight. So
looks like it'll just be a pair of fighting majors. So Lambden and Chartrand go into the box. 5:06 to go in the second period. 3-1 Port Huron. For all intents and purposes, we'll see them again in the third.
Yeah, that's all it's going to be, just offsetting fighting majors, 5 minutes, and they'll come out. They'll come out with 6 seconds to play here in the second, and they'll play in the third.
Draw will happen right in front of the Rockers bench. 5-on-5 hockey. Nakama against Foley, tied up, slides back to the defense of Motor City. Oakes bounces it in, picked up by Rodrigue. He backhands it far side. Body's thrown around. Elias Thompson tried to use his weight. Far side, 2 black, 2 white jerseys poking at it. A third white jersey comes in. Foley knocks it loose. Henning pinned to the boards. Makema trying to control it. Henning on his own side, back around, waiting for it. Oakes in neutral ice. He lost it for a moment at his own blue line. Puck bounces into the zone. Stoya offside. Go into neutral ice. Not before we have a media timeout. 4:30 to go in the second period. Port Huron 3, Motor City 1. Ben, shots on goal. And what's going on in the Fed? You know the drill.
Yeah, know the drill all too well. In the second period, Motor City still out shooting Port Huron 14-10, out shooting them overall in the game 29-20. Of course, trailing 3-1 here in the second period.
But McLean had a few words. Officials had to kind of break up the two benches. Two sides very familiar with each other. This is where you can't take a dumb penalty, and Foley looks like Port Huron's going to have to send someone to the box.
Definitely for unsportsmanlike, unless he's
or
checking
they're just
on a
talking
player.
to Chartrand. Again, this is where you can't take a penalty. Both sides, 3-1 game. Sorry.
No.
Go ahead and keep going with the update. Looks like we'll stay 5-on-5.
Yeah, it looks like that's the case. Again, out shooting Port Huron 29-20. Again, down 3-1 here. But nothing has changed in the Fed since the last time we spoke. Binghamton still has a 3-0 lead over Elmira. Danbury and Watertown still tied at 0. Columbus still has their 1-0 lead over Delaware. And Mississippi and Carolina still tied at 0-0.
Before we get started, remind you that HealthQuest Physical Therapy is Southeast Michigan's premier providers of physical therapy. Get back to living life to the fullest and visit one of HealthQuest's more than 35 convenient locations. See how HealthQuest can help at HQPT.com. Again, that's HQPT.com. 4.5 minutes until the final intermission. Port Huron with a 3-1 lead. Oakes in his own zone for Motor City. Long pass doesn't touch anyone. Rodriguez asks for an ice and he won't get it. Inger, far corner. Throws on net, doesn't make it to the net. Everett Thompson's shot gets tipped over. Inger lets it go back to Miguel Diaz. Back behind Everett Thompson. Centers for Koash. Shot and it's loose behind the net. Koash from a high chance area just didn't get a clean look at the net.
No, that puck rolled right off of his stick. Never got a finger on the trigger. He looked like he had a good opportunity, but it never presented itself.
2-on-1. Down the left side, across to Koash. Shot hits the face again of Rodrigue. His bell has been rung now at least 3 times. Rodrigue takes the second. He uses every part of his body, and another great chance for Koash and Motor City, and another nice stop by Danik Rodrigue.
You normally have to pay a ticket to the circus to see a man stop a bullet with his teeth. Rodrigue Danik did just that. He's taking a break. The official's checking on him, making sure he's okay, not concussed. He's going to say, no, I'm fine, puts back on the gauntlets. He's ready to go.
Motor City has had good opportunities. It's not from lack of trying. They've played well. Port Huron just finished their opportunities. Milam shot, and it's caught to the chest of Rodrigue. Milam uncorked one. Let's put it right in the center of the netminder for Port Huron.
Yeah, again, Rodrigue Dandry just took his chances on that one. Milam took the shot. Makema was screening in front, just like that first goal when Connor Inger was screening in front. Just not the same result.
Along the near side, Federley flips it up, out of play. 3:30 to go in the second period. 3-1, Port Huron. Motor City has been stuck on that one since less than a minute into this game.
Again, not for a lack of trying. There's been deflections in front. There's been close opportunities in front. Got to tip the cap to number 39 wearing white. He's having a heck of a game.
Draw in front of the Prowlers bench, won by Motor City. Far side, up the boards, flipped in deep, almost hits the industrial fan. Koash had a shot in close, didn't know exactly where the puck was. Right wing circle, Inger fighting for it, battling with Federley. The Prowler comes away with it. Federley up the right boards, Jay backhands to Graham, centers for Minnie to the right side looking for his second goal. He's wrangled down to the ice, right arm of the official goes up, and Port Huron will go back on the man advantage. 3:03 to go in the period.
Yeah, it's going to be hooking on Milam. Milam again got his stick in front, and he even let go of his stick. He's trying to lobby with the official, and he said, no, I did not. He just lost his edge, and my stick came with him because he did. He let go of his stick, but it's going to be hooking every time there's a stick in the midsection and someone goes down.
So Milam picks up the penalty. 3:03 to go in the second period. Port Huron trying to add to their 2-goal lead as Motor City goes on the Kustra Law penalty kill. For all your legal needs, including getting Milam out of the penalty box, visit kustralaw.com. Stoya, right side to Johnson. Low right wing circle. Foley takes it behind. Back up to Stoya. One of the newest Prowlers returning to Port Huron. Runs the point on the man advantage. 30 seconds into the Milam hooking minor. Port Huron taking their time. Left corner, Suffredini battling through 2 Prowlers. Centering, Stoya to the right side, Johnson. Shot goes parallel with the net line. Devaney back behind. Foley shot up top, Merritt throws it off the pad of Scott. He'll cover it up. 50 seconds elapsed in the hooking to Milam. 2:13 left to go in the second period. Still 3-1 Port Huron. Federley, the centerman for Port Huron. Koash try to win the defensive zone draw for Motor City. Koash, clean win. Miguel Diaz chases after 2 Prowlers find him, and he successfully sends it into neutral ice to kill a few more seconds off the penalty. Graham along the left side in the circle, takes it to the corner, rings around the boards. McLean far side back to Graham. Head coach, GM, everything for Port Huron behind the net to Schumacher, hops over his stick. 42 seconds left to go in the man advantage for Port Huron. Graham passing close, broken up, still loose, and finally sent to safety. 33 seconds left to go in the man advantage for Port Huron. 1:33 left to go in the second period. Another dump for Motor City. More seconds tick away. Trying to get back to 5-on-5 hockey. Federley in his own zone protects the puck to the near side. Schumacher. 15 seconds to go on the power play. Colton chases after it. Graham throws the body around. Puck was out in front, and Scott may have had to get a blocker on it. 5 seconds left to go in the Milam hooking. Right side pass across for Jay. Shot, and it's still loose. Back to 5-on-5. Minute to go. Milam chasing after it, but the pass goes right to the stick of Rodrigue. And we will get a whistle. 57 seconds left to go in the second period. Still 3-1 Port Huron. I'm
just laughing. Jamie Milam, of course, on that breakaway, but he couldn't get to the puck. Of course, anytime you snow a goaltender, what happens? You get pushed in the back, you get pushed in the front, you get jostled a little bit, right? Jamie just goes, hey man, no, incidental, just stopping myself. It's okay. It's all right, just breathe. And then Rodrigue says, yeah, no, I'm good. Thanks.
Draw will come to the left of Rodrigue. Makema against Jay. The Rocker wins it. Ryder's shot doesn't make it through any traffic. Suffredini, low shot, doesn't get to the crease once again. Makema in the far corner, pressured by a pair of white jerseys. Gaudette comes away with it. Shot high and wide. Colton keeps it in the zone. 43 seconds left to go in the middle frame. Shot deflected by Graham. Port Huron doing a good job clogging the lanes inside. They're forcing somehow that puck to get through. That's a luxury you can afford. Up 2 goals. Jay over the blue line. And interference the call. McLean, no hiding from that one. In the middle of everything. And with 27 seconds left to go in the second period, Motor City goes on the man advantage.
Yeah, that was a smart draw. You're talking about drawing penalties there. Brad Ryder drawing it. Now we're going to have Federley. Now that should be Federley. Send Federley to the box. That's unnecessary. That is unnecessary.
McLean still having words, and I think they're going to send him and Ryder, or...
Well, Ryder and Federley are both going to go now.
Well, Ryder's going back to the bench. They're going to send at least Federley.
No, the official is telling him, no, I want both of you. He saw what happened the whole way. Cody Lang saying, no, I want both of you in the box.
Linesman coming to get Ryder.
Yep. But I'm sorry, like, Austin Federley should be in the box, and Brad Ryder should not. I mean, Ryder did retaliate, but you can't sucker punch a guy in the back of the head like that, like Austin Federley did, and expect to get away with it.
So they're putting 2 minutes up for Federley. Will we go to 4-on-3 hockey potentially? So right now, crowded penalty box. 3 Prowlers in, 2 Rockers in the box. Again, Lambden and Chartrand in from their fighting majors earlier in the period. And right now it's showing
it's a 5-on-4.
Yeah. Should be 2 penalties up for Port Huron, 1 up for Motor City. So assuming no goals are scored, this will take us into the third.
And that scores table is having a rough time. They'll get it,
so
though.
If they're offsetting, only the 2 minutes for Port Huron should go on the board. So right now 2 minutes are showing for Federley. They put 2 up for both Federley and Ryder. Then it should be 4-on-3 if that's how the officials want it. Nope, they leave just 2 minutes up.
Yeah.
Have the wrong player, but that's inconsequential at this point. Back on the Digital Macomb Indoor Billboards Power Play. Reach over 100,000 people in the Macomb area. Go to digitalmacomb.com. Shot hits the outside of the net. 17 seconds left to go in the period. In close, across the way. 13 seconds. Motor City. Inger up to Colton. Down to 8 seconds. Colton surveys to the right side. Inger shot. Knocked back 3 seconds. They need one more attempt. They won't get it. Motor City will head to the third period, down 2 goals. They'll have 1:33 on the man advantage when we come back at the start of the third period. But first, our intermission stats are brought to you by Triumph Geared Solutions. Machinist jobs are available right here in Metro Detroit. Visit career.triumphgroup.com to learn more. Ben, shot on goal total through 2 periods, and score updates around the Fed, if you don't mind.
Well, really quickly, Torrey McLean is in there for interference. We knew that already. Austin Federley so far the only one in there for cross-checking as we're still trying to understand what happened at the end of the second period. But shots on goal in the second period, 12-16 in favor of Motor City. Motor City leading that category 31-22. Of course, we know how we got here, but in case you're joining us late, Danny Vanderweel, 54 seconds into the first period, got Motor City on the board. Connor Inger screening in front. Danny Vanderweel shooting from the point. It was 1-0. Then Port Huron used the man advantage more than halfway through, or almost halfway through, 8:02 into the first period. Frank Schumacher getting a beautiful pass from Dalton Jay. Just a bang-bang play in front of the net, tied up at 1. And then past midway point of the first period, Dan Chartrand went fishing for a rebound, pushed the puck through the 5-hole on the backhand. It was 2-1 after that. And then the only goal here in the second period, Gino Mini was right at the bottom of the far side circle, fired a hard shot. It went through Blake Scott's equipment and trickled into the back of the net. That's how we're at 3-1. And then other than that, the only update Danbury has a goal as they lead Watertown 1-0, but Binghamton still has a 3-0 lead over Elmira. As I said, Danbury and Watertown. Danbury, the hat tricks, leading that one 1-0. Columbus has a 1-0 lead over Delaware, and it's still scoreless between Mississippi and Carolina.
3-1 here. Port Huron leading Motor City, but Motor City on the man advantage. When we come back in the third period, they'll have a minute 33 to try to half this deficit. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Motor City Rockers hockey here on the Motor City Rockers YouTube page. back here at Big Boy Arena, just a couple of minutes away from the third period getting started. Ben, Motor City will start the third period with a minute 33 of power play action. It's not a necessity that they score in the first 93 seconds, but boy, wouldn't we feel good if 45 seconds into the third, they cut the deficit in half.
I was going to say, not only would it feel good, it'd be awesome to just see. I mean, outside of the first minute of this game and a couple of opportunities, yet the opportunities have been kind of few and far between. But, you know, if Motor City can take advantage of the last 93 seconds of this man advantage, it would be awesome. But you got to give credit to Port Huron. They know this team very well. Obviously, this is the 14th meeting between these two teams. There's only 2 meetings left on the year, and they're showing it. I mean, they're keeping Motor City at bay, and all these shots that Motor City has, they're not really clean shots. Of course, the lone goal by Vanderweel was because Roderick was screened in front of the net. He had no idea the shot was coming, so he didn't even get down into a butterfly, and it went over his shoulder. So, yeah, it would be awesome to come out of the locker room, get a goal, strike within one, and then get another one to tie it. But it's an easier said than done task tonight. Prowlers playing well. It's like I mentioned in our pregame show, Brady. For whatever reason, whenever Port Huron is struggling, they are 1-4 in their last 5. They've used Motor City to help springboard themselves back into winning, back into getting confidence, and we're just seeing it, unfortunately, again here tonight.
Let's reset why this game means so much. There's been a lot between these two teams, but this one just has a little extra oomph. Now we've got an official playoff format here in the Fed. Top 4 teams from each division make it. Right now, it's a shaven beard hair that separate these two teams. Port Huron, 61 points, Motor City 60. Motor City has 2 games in hand, but a pair of points tonight would at least tie them with Port Huron. If they can come back and get the regulation win, they'd move up to 3rd place. 20 minutes left to go in regulation. Start of the 3rd period. Rockers on the man advantage. They win the draw. Sufferdini on his own blue line. Dumps it in diagonally, chasing after it. Couple of different Rockers meeting behind the net. Puck slips out. Picked up. Chartrand falls down on the fresh sheet. To the left side, Sufferdini. Walks to the top of the left circle, gives to Inger. In the corner, returns Sufferdini, 1:10 to go in the man advantage. Back to Inger, to the point, Colton returns to Inger. Walks it in the slot, it's tipped off the loose stick. Still deflected by Danik Rodrigue. Minute left to go in the man advantage. Cross ice pass, Koash walks in, it's loose. Wrap around attempt, up to Sufferdini, chaos in front, and a whistle, and Rodrigue had lost his helmet. Oh, that's the worst time for that to happen. Stuff happens, Ben. But boy, Josh Colton was locked in from the point, ready to unload. And I will say, wisely, for the safety of the game, the officials blow the whistle.
Yeah, and I will say this, even though Roderick was out of position, you still had Henning, you still had a couple of players protecting that side. So even if a shot went off, I don't think it's going in. I mean, the Prowlers did a very good job sending everybody. They knew that Roderick was out of position. They knew he had a hard time recovering, and they just grouped around that net. It was a diamond triangle right in front of the blue paint. Even if the shot gets off, there's no guarantee it goes in.
Josh Colton, his eyes must have gotten as wide as could be because he was ready. He was walking it up off the draw. Dalton J takes it for Port Huron. 50 seconds left to go on the minor penalty to Torrey McLean. Back behind the net, Mini to the right side. Vanderweel on the blue line. Centers to the point. Vanderweel, the only goal scorer for Motor City. Right wing circle touch pass back to Milam. To the low slot, in close, loose, Gaudette didn't have it. Makema slashes at it, couldn't find his first goal tonight. 23 seconds left to go in the power play. Makema stops the clearing attempt, but has to retreat to his own zone. Makema being chased by Jay, sends to the far side, Vanderweel. 10 seconds to work with, left wing circle. Takes it behind the net. Vanderweel knocked off the puck, Koash slashes at it. Down to 3 seconds, Milam. from the point left side, throws a soft one on net, bounces wide. We're back to 5-on-5 hockey. 3-1 Port Huron, 18:20 to go in the final period. Motor City chasing a pair. Makema banks it off the boards to himself. Quick 3-on-2. Makema shoots it into the center of Rodrigue. Will get a whistle. Motor City has come out with their tails on fire in the third, but it still hasn't resulted in another goal for the Rockers.
Yeah, again, Motor City just can't find to break that seal. They were able to break it once, and then after that, that wall was spackled right back up. You haven't been able to break through since. But it's nice to hear Billy Joel's 9 o'clock on a Saturday, as it's just after 9 o'clock here at Big Boy Arena. It's a good old Joe Lewis tradition.
18:05 to go in the third period. 3-1 Port Huron on top. Behind their own net, Thackeray to the left side, fed up to Chartrand. Works around a couple Rockers as he crosses the blue line. Devaney in the right corner. Battle for it. Slides near the top of the right circle. Chipped out Thackeray. Just inside his own zone. Gives right wing. Couple of players have biffed it here in the early going of the third. That's something with a new sheet of ice. Don't expect that.
Yeah, there's a lot of water spots still on the ice, and the Blades are losing their edge. That's why it's happening. Guys just hitting the water spots and just losing their edge.
Along the near boards, Thackeray stops it before it can cross the Rockers' blue line. Horseshoes back around. Johnson comes up to play it near the hash marks, gives it the left wing circle, up to Thackeray from the point, doesn't make it through traffic. Koash got the chest in front of it. Far corner Merritt for Port Huron. Now Port Huron dominating play after the penalty had expired. Far side, Everett Thompson. Flips it to the center. Koash brings it in with the right mitt, sets it down. Immediately knocked away by Thackeray. Heck of a shift for 46 in white as he heads to the bench.
Yeah, doing a good job. Thackeray playing that blue line very well. Been a theme, though, all night long for Port Huron. They're playing really good defense.
In the defensive zone for Port Huron, Heinzel back behind his own net, setting the breakout up. Left side, touch pass, goes by everyone. And we will not get an icing. Maybe it was tipped. Maybe someone, they're saying someone could have played it for Motor City. Either way, play goes on to the left side. McLean chases after it. Has Colton on his hip. Poked away, stays inside the zone. Heinzel, to the left side, lost it off the high glass to neutral ice. Schumacher whiffs on a pass. Chasing after it, Cardinal. Tries to split the defense. Can't pick it up, bottom of the right wing circle, and he fires a shot high and wide. It would have been a tough angle, but Cardinal smelled blood and was going for the kill.
Yeah, I don't mind him taking that shot. I would have liked him, though, falling down to his seat. You would have gotten a holding call on Port Huron instead. But beggars can't be choosers at this point.
In front, and Parsons sends it to neutral ice and safety. Parsons and Stoya into the offensive zone. Right side shot low, rebound, still loose. It's in the right wing circle. Motor City working the other way, putting on the brakes to the left side. Makema is tipped. Battle in front of the Port Huron bench. Graham on neutral ice, back to Parsons. 15:21 to go, third period. Rockers have been stuck on a goal since the first minute of the game. Left side, off the crossbar, stays 3-1. Port Huron has scored the last 3 inches from number 4. Makema getting dirty to block the shot at the blue line. Makema using some skill, can't get by Inger, didn't have the spacing. Makema, bottom of the right wing circle. Koash had a spot in the middle of the ice. Pass wasn't there. Jay using his speed, poke checked away. Nice play by the veteran Milam to negate what could have been a really nice chance for Port Huron.
Yeah, it's the second time Milam's done that. When Dalton Jays had the puck, was able just to make himself a little bit longer than he needed to be, was able to get 2 clean poke checks.
Dalton Jay shoots high off the glass. Johnson from inside the blue line, diagonal feed, knocked down by Jay. Hand-eye coordination, cross-ice feed, too strong for Federley. Chipping up to neutral ice, Koash chasing after it. Federley had it for a moment. Koash picks his pocket in the offensive zone, goes back over the blue line. Koash has to reset, backhand feed to his own zone, gets the return pass at his own blue line. Backhand, the right side, Miguel Diaz racing up Johnson in front, between him and the net. Diaz throws on net, padded behind the Prowlers zone. Big hit behind the Prowlers net. Devaney goes to the ice. Port Huron with the puck, 13:54 to go, third period, 3-1. Port Huron on top of Motor City. Behind the net to the right side, Everett Thompson, touch pass. Racing, right side, into the zone. Top of the circle, and it's sticked up into the rafters. And the shot deflected. Motor City still can't seem to break through. Cody Oakes, the latest Rocker to try and attempt. While we're stuck at 3-1, Ben, that was a hectic 4 minutes and change. What are the shots and what's going on around the Federal Hockey League?
Well, Motor City still leads shots on goal 35-23, leading the third period 3-1. But of course it's 3-1 here at Big Boy Arena. It is now 4-1 Binghamton leading Elmira. It is 2-2. Danbury and Watertown tied up all the way out in Watertown, New York. Still a 1-0 game. Columbus leading Delaware, and still no score between Carolina and Mississippi.
13:33 to go in the third period. It's been a fun night. If you want to bring someone down, hey, we're going to have a lot of home games coming up next weekend. Pair a game against the Elmira Mammoth. You can bring your kids, take them to the Genesis Credit Union Kids Zone. Should be a lot of fun. And if you've been missing Motor City Rocker hockey, next handful of weekends, you're sure going to get your full of it here at Big Boy Arena.
Yeah, next 7 games here at Big Boy Arena. Of course, we mentioned the Genesis Rockers Kids Zone. Of course, there's mini sticks. You can get your face painted, get a little bit of a treat down there as well. And also, you can have your kid be nominated for Genesis Kid of the Game, just like Felix Moylan was earlier today. You get a ceremonial puck drop. You get to keep a puck in a nice little goodie bag from our friends at Genesis Credit Union. So good fun, and of course we do have a bar here for the adults, so the kids can have some fun. The adults can have some fun responsibly, of course. But come on down, get some tickets.
You want tickets, go to MC Rockers Hockey/tickets. Get them today. Right now, Motor City trying to erase a 3-1 deficit. Up the right side, Cardinal leaves it back. Lambden chasing after it. McLean poked it into neutral ice. At the red line, it was tipped up. Easily floats to the stick of Gino Mini. He scored the latest goal for Port Huron. Throws it into the zone. Oakes knocks to the far side. McLean pressuring Oakes all the way back deep into the left corner. Miguel Diaz behind his own net. Off the near boards. Mini lets one fly, and well, that one would have been wide of a soccer net. Mini gets it in the low slot, works around, backhand attempt, and a big save by Scott. Still 3-1. Mini's had some great opportunities, but that time, Blake Scott stands tall.
Blake Scott has been playing well since he's been given, unfortunately, was given the starting job because Babin, of course, got the 4-game suspension. You never want to see your goaltender miss that many games, but our backup goaltender doing a very good job getting comfortable. And when he's comfortable, Blake makes great saves like that.
12:33 to go in the third period, 3-1. Port Huron leads Motor City. Federley takes the offensive zone draw. He'll duel with Perks. Off the draw to the boards, Federley chases it, bounces it in the crease. Scott lets it go. Far corner, battle for it, Makema trying to come away with it. Federley, pesky in that corner. Talk about guys from Motor City that play bigger than their size. Austin Federley won. He's not afraid to get in the dirty areas despite his disadvantage in height.
Yeah, no, and he's just like Cade Lambden. He's both those guys not very big, but they like to mix it up.
12:07 to go, third period. Shot went into the netting. An offensive zone draw for Motor City. Bennett, feels like Motor City's done a lot of things right. X's and O's wise at least. Don't feel like there's a lot to change from Motor City. At some point it's like, all right guys, just score a goal. Sometimes we make it too complicated. Just get one in, keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, it is. And I always, Chartrand blocking that shot, but I always like when Motor City gets their goaltenders moving left to right, centering passes in front. Yes, the shots from the outside, the blasts from the outside are nice to see, but Motor City's game is really having a guy drive the net and have a guy trail behind the play for a nice centering pass. Haven't seen that a lot tonight, and when they do, they are able to get some easy goals.
Port Huron, they clog up the lane, especially up 2 goals. That's a luxury you can afford. Coash couldn't handle the pass. Parsons backhands it into neutral ice. Right in front of the Rockers bench. Everett Thompson picks it up, plays it to himself, left side, poked into the corner. Parsons pressures Thompson, spins around, 2 white jerseys all around Thompson. Up top, Colton lets it fly, but it hits off the skate of Merritt into the netting. Sam Merritt, rightfully so, getting a lot of love from his bench. That one did not feel good. Even if it hit the skate, Colton unloaded that.
Yeah, Colton is just a couple of points shy away from 100, and he knows that number. We were talking before the game. He knows that number. He knows how close he is. His eyes got big. He was all alone in the high slot. Had a good look. Sam Merritt, though, sacrificing his leg, sacrificing an ankle. That's definitely going to be sore tomorrow, and just made a heck of a play. You like guys sacrificing their bodies for that. As you said, his teammates racked the bench.
Ryder in close, off the face again of Rodrigue. Still loose. Ryder sends to the far boards. Rodrigue, he's gonna be seeing stars for a bit after this game. He's used every inch of his body. Stoya up the right side for Port Huron, lost it. Foley trying to control it through the wickets. Still loose right side. Scott laying out for it, didn't have it. Ryder controls it, lets Scott recenter. Ryder working through the left side. Gaudette, big body of Roman Gaudette, takes it deep into the zone. Ryder and Gaudette working. Johnson along with Stoya trying to keep them pinned to the boards. 10:30 left to go in the third period. Rockers still chasing 2. Working up the middle. Thackeray over the red line. He backhand shovels it in deep. Vanderweel in his own zone. Takes time for the line change. Danny Vanderweel, seems like an eon ago that he netted the first goal for Motor City. Dumps in deep. Rodrigue will play it, or I should say cover it up. And we'll get a whistle with 10:01 to go in the third.
Yeah, it does seem like forever, but again, not for a lack of trying. A lot of good quality chances here tonight. There's been at least 5 or 6, and normally when you have that many in a Fed game, half of them go in. Again, Rodrigue Danrique, as you said, is probably going to be seeing stars after the game, maybe have a headache tomorrow morning. He saved a lot of those with his face, and he's playing tall no matter what. He's playing really good in between the pipes. He's 5-3 on the year for a reason.
Oakes from the point, loose out in front. Thompson couldn't quite get to it. Graham, the veteran, able to knock it to safety. Still deep in the Port Huron zone. Motor City sniffing around. Miguel Diaz from the point thinks better of a shot, sends to the near hash marks. Coash throws, and it bounces into the belly of Rodrigue. He wasn't quite sure where that was. Took a fortunate bounce, and at 9:44 to go in the third, still 3-1 Port Huron. Rockers will take a minute to talk about it. While they do, Ben, let's see the shots on goal and who's winning around the Fed.
Well, now that everything's loaded up, Motor City still leading shots on goal 7-3 here in the third, almost having 40 shots on the game. They're at 39 to Port Huron's 25, so the shots have been there. They're just not going in the net. Of course, it's still 3-1 here at Big Boy Arena. It is 4-1. Binghamton versus Elmira. Elmira got on the board in the third period. Binghamton also tied them. Josh Newberg getting a goal 51 seconds into the third. Richard McCartney got a goal halfway through the third to make it 4-1. Elmira avoiding a shootout. And then Danbury and Watertown, it is a 3-2 game. Columbus added one. They now have a 2-0 lead over Delaware. And Carolina came out from out of nowhere to score 2 goals. They have a 2-goal lead over Mississippi.
We know they can score in spades. Everyone in the league can. We talked about it earlier. Like to see Motor City kind of unleash a little bit, because since that first goal from Motor City all the way back, it was just 54 seconds in. We've gone basically 49 minutes without a goal.
It's been a while, and especially after last night where you're getting goals from all over the place, and you're making it look easy with a 5-0 win. You hope and you wish that you would get more goals. Again, it's not for a lack of trying. Motor City definitely trying to add on. It's just been a good performance by Rodrigue here tonight.
9:44 to go in the third period, 3-1. Prowlers lead Motor City. Miguel Diaz off the draw. Shot was knocked away. He's double teamed, backhands it to the left wing corner. Koash sends in deep. Rings around the boards. Henning backhands up to the right side to neutral ice Miguel Diaz. Pass tipped by Inger. Schumacher has it for Port Huron off the far boards. Tip back. Koash along with Inger. Right wing circle to Koash by the slot. Picks the top left corner. Scott Koash finally gets it by Danik Rodriguez. 3-2 Motor City.
We've seen that before from Scott. That's now 24 on the year for Koash. He has been on a tear the past couple of weekends. He had a goal last night. He had a shorthanded goal on the road as well. He has been a man on a mission, and when he wants to take over a game, he can do so. Carried right down in, got the butterfly that he wanted to see, popped the far side shoulder and hit the water bottle, and it is 3-2.
Doesn't it feel like a weight's lifted off the shoulders for Motor City? They have it 3-2. They have 9:13 to go in the third period. All the momentum on Motor City's side. Port Huron in their own zone. Gaudette chases after the puck. Minnie pushes it to neutral ice. Suffredini sends a left side. Rodriguez plays it behind the net.
See, Brady, you say you want to score in spurts. There was one right there. Got to get another one, though, to tie up the game.
Would love to see it. Again, a big game. These two teams separated by just a point in the standings. Gaudette on the left side. Centers. Backhand from Makema. Bounces behind the net. Ryder chasing after it. Kicks back out to the wrong number 21, Chartrand. He'll send it in deep. It was 38 shots between goals for Motor City, but Scott Koash with a beauty. Nothing that Chartrand really could have done. Put it in a soup can. Scott Koash, and we know he can do that.
Yep. Like I said, just waited for him to go down to the butterfly. Said thanks for the top shelf where the good stuff is, and he buried it. 24
goals on the year for Koash. Leads Motor City. Milam in his zone. You can see a little extra pep in the step of Motor City. They can smell the momentum. They have 8 minutes to get the game tying goal. Pass across and it hit Perks. The linesman says it did not. Johnson wins the race. 7:53 to go in the third. 3-2 Port Huron. It'll be an offensive zone draw for the Prowlers.
Yeah, and we've seen this situation before where the shoe's been on the other foot, right, for Motor City, where they have a 3-2 lead, and as the third period's gone on, they haven't been able to close out a game. How about we see that from Port Huron, right? Let's see that from the Prowlers. Let's see the Prowlers let this one slip away and somehow the game be tied. It's happened so many times with Motor City. Why can't it happen here?
7:53 to go in the third period. Port Huron with the puck up top. Johnson throws it through traffic. Loose out in front. Dangerous position. Gets sent to safety in the right corner. Port Huron trying to keep the puck in deep. 7:37 left to go in regulation. You're a Rockers fan. Hopefully have a chance at more hockey. Stoya takes his time, throws it on net. Swallowed up by Scott. Stays 3-2 Port Huron. Suddenly there's a little more tension in the air. Everyone's sitting on the edge of their seats, making it that one-goal game, knowing anything can happen. It's that feeling that you don't get from a lot of sports, Ben, but it's what makes hockey so special, where you just can't relax at the second half of that third period.
No, you can't. You start, as you said, sitting on the edge of your seat. You lean in a little bit forward like you're interested in a conversation. And, of course, you get sweat across your brow. You're hoping, you're begging and pleading for another goal.
Thompson surveys the scene from the corner to the right dot, backhanded by Koash. Could he go back to back? It was poked away, not right now. Foley off the far boards, can't handle it. Koash cleans up the mess in his own zone. Stick handled himself into a knot. Diagonal pass is tipped to Inger. Don't think it was designed that way, but Inger leaves it back. Right side, low corner, it's knocked away and lost a stick. Rodriguez almost took a tumble. Scott behind his own net.
Well, Thompson lost his stick, kind of threw it in frustration. It landed at the skates of Rodriguez. Rodriguez was upset about it, almost punched Everett Thompson with his blocker.
Oakes steps in front of the pass in the Port Huron zone. Gaudette able to use the tall frame. Gaudette had the puck knocked away. Goes back to neutral ice. Nick Miguel Diaz. A parallel pass with the red line. Finds Ryder. Top of the right wing circle. Backhand feed goes into the left corner. Dalton J picks it up for Port Huron. 6:13 to go, third period. 3-2 Port Huron. Federally races into the low zone. Backhand still loose. And Blake Scott stands tall. Keeps it a 1-goal game.
Gotta love it. Blake Scott with a 6 save. Said it, when Motor City was facing Watertown. That was sick. He did. He had an opportunity. He wears his trapper on his left hand, was able to close the wing at the last moment and carry the puck to the far side post to freeze it. Beautiful save. Sometimes those pucks find a way through the sweater, but not that time.
Austin Federley only has 8 goals this season. He's this guy that scored 20-plus in the past. As another sweet save from Scott. Keeps it at 3-2. But Federley's a guy that scored 20-plus in the past. He has some really nice hands for Port Huron. And that's not an opportunity you want to give number 19 in white too often.
No, you don't. You don't want to give a lot of guys on Port Huron's roster an opportunity to score. You don't want a guy like, again, Dalton J. His name is always silent for some reason when we're calling games. He's doing other things, obviously. Just not putting the puck in the net.
Had a real nice assist earlier in the game. Got the scoring started for Port Huron. Shot deflected in close. Port Huron with a bit of an onslaught. Centering feed to Vinny. Got just a bit of a tip on it. Motor City trying to break out. Inger could smell it. Was trying to leak out a bit early. Minnie, top of the left circle, centers to Schumacher. He didn't decide if he wanted to zig or zag, so the puck bounced off his stick. To Vinny. Back behind the net. Off the boards. Battle for it. Motor City has to get it out of their zone before they can think about a game-tying goal. Get it to neutral ice. Minnie will skate after it. Won't have to go too far. Icing the call. 5:30 to go in the third period. Ben, you feel everyone on pins and needles. Motor City's been playing well. Can they get that game-tying goal? Rodrigue has been excellent in net. As well as Motor City has played, you have to tip your cap to the netminder for Port Huron.
You do, and this is the point in the game where you break up the last 6 minutes into that mini game, right, of 2-minute periods. Right now, we have a minute and a half of the first period of the breakup, and if you can win those small battles in 30-second increments, you can have the game start tying on your side, and of course, as the game goes on, we'll keep an eye on Blake Scott to see if he leaves the 4x6 area for an extra man.
Still 5:15 to go in regulation. Right side, Koash couldn't handle it. Chipped back into neutral ice. Inger backhands it over the blue line. Motor City touches up before they touch the puck. McLean. On the near boards. McLean. Knocked off the puck. Big hit from Koash. A couple different Prowlers took exception. Stoya couldn't knock it down with the right hand. Port Huron in the row end. McLean. Backhands far side controlled by Johnson. Sent back to safety to Stoya. Stands in his own circle. Far side. Johnson. Dump in deep. Gets past Miguel Diaz. 4:34 to go. Third period. 3-2. Port Huron leads Koash. The last goal for Motor City. A beauty. Top shelf snipe. Behind the net, Federley. Gets pushed off the puck, working against a big body in Perks. Puck bouncing around right wing circle. Working out near the blue line. Henning keeps it in. Up to Jay. Shot doesn't make it through Vanderweel. Ooh, that one stings a bit for Vanderweel. Looks like it caught his left hand.
Yeah, he's holding that to his chest. He's feeling it, but it's a worthy sacrifice.
Henning on the far side, banks it off the boards. Federley, pass picked off. Makema, again, he was the hero last night. First star of the game with the hat trick. Couldn't do much with it. Under 4 minutes to go in the third. Still a 1-goal deficit for Motor City. Desperately trying to get the equalizer. Jay, left side, being pushed by Milam. A tie-up. No arm goes up from any official. Schumacher hacky sacks it to himself, throws it through traffic, and Scott swallows it up. Blake Scott keeping Motor City in this game here in the final minutes.
Yeah, Blake Scott getting more and more comfortable. And like I said, we've seen situations like this where the shoe's been on the other foot. Motor City's been up late in the third period. Something happens. It's either a puck goes off someone's boot into a net and we go into overtime. It's a bad penalty and, something happens and the lead squanders. Why can't that happen for Motor City? Why can't the shoe be on the other foot where Motor City, when they're only down 1, can get back into this game? And right now, when you have a goaltender like Blake Scott playing well, getting more and more comfortable in tougher and tougher situations, it'd be nice to see the shoe be on the other foot for a change.
3:40 to go in the third period. Media timeout. Ben, what are the shots on goal and any scores from around the Fed that need updating?
Yeah, shots on goal very narrow here in the third period. 8-7 favoring Motor City. 40-29 overall in the game that favors Motor City. Still 4-1 Binghamton over Elmira. 3-2 lead for Danbury over Watertown now, and now a 3-0 lead Columbus over Delaware. And Carolina still has a 2-0 lead over Mississippi.
3:40 to go in the third period. 3-2. Motor City trailing Port Huron. Draw in the Rocker zone. Getting to crunch time.
This place is definitely buzzing. You can hear it.
Yes, it is. I'm Brady Beaton alongside Ben Zalagi. Looking for a fun finish. Makema, right wing circle, throws it off the pad, stays in, hit the highest part of the glass it could. Scramble in the zone. Minnie comes away with it to Port Huron. Slides to Schumacher, sends it too far down. We'll get an icing and an offensive zone draw. Ben, maybe not quite yet, where you're approaching the time where Scott's going to be looking over to the bench, When do you want to see Blake Scott head out and basically Motor City go all in?
Well, I personally would like to see it with about 1:45 left in this game if it's going to happen at all. You know, it's something you have to also pick your spots. If it's an opportunity like this with like 2 minutes left in the third, sure, send Blake to the bench, get an extra attacker and see what you can do. But as of right now, I'm still looking about 90 seconds, maybe 105 seconds left in the game until he comes out.
3:13 to go in the third. Rockers chasing one. Pass bounces up. Coash couldn't control it. Devaney on the blue line. Pass has no home. Miguel Diaz shovels it up in front, deep into the Rocker zone. 3 minutes flat to go in the third. 3-2. Scott Coash has made this an interesting game with the lone goal of the third period for Motor City. Miguel Diaz takes it over all three lines to the right hash marks. Backhand, blockered up in the air. Thompson swipes at it, knocks down Matt Stoya, and he brings it back into the zone. Thompson, pressured by Port Huron, selling out defensively. Johnson behind the net to the far side. Stoya picks it up on the blue line along the red line. He dumps in deep. Port Huron can play the clock management game here in the final 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, and if you're a fan of Port Huron, you're hoping they're playing a 100-foot game because it keeps Blake Scott in the net. As the puck starts getting further and further deep in your defensive zone, you kind of keep your goaltender right exactly where Port Huron wants him to be.
Sufferdini in front of his own bench, rink wide pass, finds the backhand of Perks, kicks it up to the forehand, throws on net, misses wide right. Scott still squarely in the 4x6. Port Huron controls it. Pass up to McLean, left side, Cardinal shades. McLean works on the backhand, can't get a shot off. Under 2 minutes to go in the third period. Scott down on the ice. Graham knocks it back to Parsons, across to Henning. Throws on net, no stick for Scott. Lambden couldn't control it. Motor City needs to get it out of the zone at all costs right now. 1:38 to go. Scott regained the stick. Far side Parsons throws on net, and it's tipped in. Brian Parsons threw it on net, not sure who tipped it, and with 92 seconds to go in the game, that should be, or could be, the dagger. If that is a goal for Parsons, that's his first. Not sure where it hit. All I know is it found its way to the back of the net.
Yeah, Parsons took a nice shot again. Another one of those pucks that feathered between a player. Thought maybe it bounced off federally, but instead, it goes in. Coach Brown's going to take a timeout and see if they can maybe get back into this game with 92 seconds left. But it was a nice shot by Parsons in the high slot. He was able to get a good look at it, feathered through. Again, I think Federally was the one who deflected it, and that's how we're at 4-2.
Seems like they'll award the goal to Brian Parsons, so his first of the year could not have come at a better time for Port Huron. Now Motor City looking for what would be a very memorable comeback. See if Blake Scott even comes back in the crease. 1:32 to go in the third, down 2, not much to lose. You don't have anyone out there. 5-2 is not much different than 4-2.
No, it's not. And if you are that desperate for seeding right now, then yeah, you're going to pull Blake Scott. But just by looking at the body language right now at Motor City's bench, Scott's going to go back in between the pipes. Motor City's going to do what they can. I mean, you still have a face-off at center ice. You're telling the guys, look, we have to break this game up a little bit further, 45-second increments. Let's see what we can do. But it is going to be 5-on-5 hockey. We've gotten opportunities in front. Again, get some of those dirty goals. Shoot from the outside, get the rebounds, get a deflection, get a screen, see what happens.
Vanderweel on the far side, sends it in deep, high hit, and that'll put Port Huron down a man. So we'll have likely 6-on-4 hockey, 1:26 to go. Vanderweel slow to get up. Likely a minor penalty, but it at least keeps Motor City alive.
Well, Vanderweel's checking his mouth to see if he lost a tooth. You come back from that league, you come back and on your first night, you get your bell rung pretty well. You get your jaw readjusted. Welcome back, Danny Vanderweel. You get a goal and you get your jaw readjusted. It's not good.
So Scott's still in net, 1:26 to go in the third. Going on the Digital Macomb Indoor Billboards power play. Reach over 100,000 people in 1 month all around Macomb County by visiting digitalmacomb.com. And right now there's 5 Prowlers on the ice. Minnie will skate to the bench. Scott looks like he'll wait for a face-off win. 2 minutes on the board, so a minor for Schumacher.
There he goes.
Scott will come out right now.
Cardinals the extra man.
Coash draws against Foley. Clean win for Coash. Back to the right side, Colton. Right hash marks. Walking up, throws it on net, misses wide, and it'll horseshoe all the way out of the zone. Time Motor City doesn't have. Colton shakes it back behind his own net. 1:10 to go in the game. Unless there's a goal, the time on the penalty will not matter. Suffredini leaves for Inger. Inger on the 6-on-4 far side. Coash taking his time, surveys. Suffredini in close, it's blocked by Henning. Motor City still with the puck, under a minute to go in the period. Right corner. Stoya throws it in across the lines, down to 45 seconds. Suffredini has to hurry, down by 2, 40 seconds left. Across, Inger over the red line, sends it in deep. You can tell the legs are getting a bit tired for Motor City. Coash chips it across to Suffredini. Half a minute to go in the game. Motor City down to right side, rebound, Inger throws on net, got it! Motor City has life with 24 seconds to go. Connor Inger, top left corner. Port Huron will have to at least sweat out the last 24 seconds of this game on the Connor Inger gore. Parsons has an arm around Suffredini. Don't take a penalty either side. Both sides heated. Motor City does make it a 1-goal game.
They do. Connor Inger's been playing well. Maybe played himself into a star of the game, in all honesty. Screened in front on the first goal. Has an assist on the Coash goal and gets one here in the biggest way possible. 23.7 seconds left. Inger has been playing well as of late too. He's been getting a couple of goals. He got a couple of goals and a couple of assists on the road swing. So good to see him get one. He's playing well, but it might be a little too late. Don't want to be the wet blanket here. But with 23.7 seconds left, again,
you get one more rush.
Yeah.
Scott starts in net. He'll start at the top of the hash marks. Interesting choice to keep Scott in. Win to Vanderweel, chips it in. Ryder gets upended through the glass. Is there going to be a penalty? I believe there will be. 20 seconds left for a mad scramble, but we're going to have to fix the glass. Oh, we're going to wait forever for this 20 seconds, Ben. I don't know if I've ever seen that before.
I have never seen the glass break in a hockey game before, but as Ryder got hit and undercut, his skate hit the glass, and it broke immediately. Yesterday, we had the longest 11 seconds in history. Today, we're going to have the longest 20 seconds in history.
I believe this is going to be a penalty against Port Huron.
There has to be. It's
Matt
boarding.
Graham furiously arguing.
It's boarding. Matt Graham can talk all he wants. That's boarding. That is boarding. It's going to be a 2-minute minor. It's not a 5, but it's a 2-minute minor for boarding. That is clearly boarding. You had him undercut. You had Ryder undercut, but you can't lift and shove him into the boards after he's undercut. That's boarding clear as day. Matt Graham can talk all he wants, but it's not going to change anything.
So now
we have one of our owners on the ice.
Well, yeah, he's going to have to try to help fix the board.
Yeah.
Oh, 20 seconds away, and Port Huron, their fans probably sweating everything out right now. Let's see how quickly, because first you have to get the glass off the ice.
Yes.
That's first and foremost. Then you have to replace the pane. Well, we'll get a few different arena workers out here.
You have the ice crews with their shovels. They're going to go and collect as much shards of glass as they can.
2 minutes goes up for Port Huron. Schumacher will go back to the box. You know, Ben, they never really prepare you for how to stall with broken glass. Like, that's something that happens. Sometimes you got to stall in this business. Never with 20 seconds left when your heart rate is up over 100. You're getting ready for the finale. Motor City has a chance to inexplicably come back in a game they really should have no business coming back in after being down 4-2. There's going to be a 20-second scramble, and you almost feel like, if you're a Rockers fan, waiting this long, if you stick out this delay, you feel like you want a goal to make it worth your time.
Well, what did I say? How come a break can't go Motor City's way? Right now we're in a good opportunity for it. That is a bad boarding penalty. It is going to be served by Frank Schumacher. And again, it's that bad penalty we were talking about. Why can't the shoe be on the other foot? Why not? Why can't the shoe be on the other foot for Motor City for a change? We just see it. Now you're going to see another 6-on-4. You get another good rush, and it's a whole new game. You're going to play extra hockey. You're going to steal a point when you shouldn't have. Just keep trying to talk it into existence, Brady. That's all I'm trying to do. That is all I'm trying to do.
Now, if you're Gordy Brown, you have more than enough time to draw up exactly how you want this to go.
And I love our off-ice officials. They do a great job. They already have the 3 stars of the game posted, because who would have thought we would have broken glass?
Yeah, everyone ready to go.
Who would have thought we had broken glass? Hang on, let's ask, did you think, Will, we'd have broken glass? I love it.
So they're still cleaning up the glass.
Oh, my goodness.
20.1 seconds left. 6 on 4, presumably upcoming.
Yeah.
And this is not going to be a short delay. So let's go over what Motor City will be doing in the next month or so, since, hey, we have plenty of time. It will be a long homestand next weekend, Friday and Saturday, 7:30 start between Elmira on Friday, 7 o'clock start at home against Motor City. Then they bring in Carolina for 2 more. Ben, after the last game Carolina played in here, you kind of owe Carolina some revenge. So just got word there is not an extra piece of glass in this arena. Ben, here at Big Boy Arena, for those that aren't around the area, there's 5 sheets of ice here, or at least 5 or 6 rinks if you include the roller hockey, as you do the math in your head. There's not an extra sheet of ice. They're going to go to the director of officials, Paul Jean, and see how they want to proceed.
Yeah, there is. There's one right there.
Oh, well.
John lied to us.
Now there's an extra sheet of glass. So we got bad information.
I love John. John just came out and said, they just said they didn't have an extra pane. We're not calling John a liar. He's an honest guy, but it's just funny. John's like, no, there's not one, and then we see one come through.
So Brady Beaton here with you with Ben Zalagi.
Oh, man. Maybe they stole it from another rink.
Well, I will say, the ice crew has moved quickly. The workers here at Big Boy Arena have worked very quickly. I would have been shocked if there was not another pane of glass.
Yeah. I mean, you always have a couple on hand. to, in case something like this happens, worst case scenario, something like this happens.
So, since we have time,
yeah,
I guess story time, relates to Port Huron. I'm sure John will remember this. He's been in Port Huron a long time, along with helping here in Motor City. The Port Huron area has had a lot of different teams. One, the original team were the Flags. Well, in the 2000s, they brought the Flags back. Community was very excited. Whole crowd, big old sellout crowd at the opening night for the brand new Flags. Before the game starts, lights wouldn't come on, the glass breaks, and the home opener for the revival of the beloved franchise ended in an epic fashion at about 1 a.m. in the morning, and about 10 people saw it after about 2,500 people filled McMorran Arena. So imagine the first game in Rockers history. You get broken glass, you get problems with the ice. There actually wasn't a way to fix the glass. And, well, right now, with everyone in their tensest moment, 20 seconds left to go, Port Huron just took another penalty. Motor City with an opportunity to tie it. We have to sit through this delay.
It's okay. We got stuff to talk about. One thing we can do, we can update you what's going on around the league. One game did go final. The Binghamton Black Bears went to First Arena against the Elmira Mammoth, and they got a 4-1 win out there. It was all Binghamton. They had 4 straight goals. Elmira, again, got one from Richard McCartney late in the third period to make it 4-1. So that one's wrapped up. There's still stuff going on. Danbury and Watertown. Danbury has a 3-2 lead over Watertown. They jumped out to a 2-0 lead. Dmitry Kuznetsov got a goal. Michael Marchand had a goal. And then Larry Yellowknee and then Don Carter Jr. tied it up at 2 before Tobias Ojic got a goal to make it 3-2 in the second period. They just entered the third, so Danbury still holding on to that 3-2 lead. And then Columbus has a 4-0 lead over Delaware. Kirk Underwood, Jay Krug, Kirk Underwood again in the second period. And then Thomas Aldworth getting a goal in the second period as well. It is 4-0 after 2. And then our friends, the Carolina Thunderbirds and the Mississippi Seawolves. It's a 2-1 game in favor of Carolina. Lucas Rowe, Joseph Kennedy, the goal scorers there, and Philip Wong getting a goal for Mississippi, and they, again, are at 2-1. One question I have for you, it is All-Star Weekend for the NBA.
Yes.
Would you like to see an All-Star type of event here with the Fed? You take maybe, I know it's tough.
In an idealistic world, yes. Here's the problem.
Sure.
Is that at this level of minor league hockey, it is very community-based. And, hey, people in Port Huron, they love Dalton J. They love Matt Graham. People here at Motor City, hey, Scott Coash might be their favorite rocker. Maybe it's Trevor Babbitt. Maybe it's a guy like Declan Conway out tonight. But in other communities, there's not as much name recognition. People here might not care about Yaroslav down in Mississippi. They might not care about when Ryan Marker was playing, or care about some of these other guys around, Johnny Ruiz,
Parker Moscal,
guys who are big-time names. Now, there's hardcore fans. Each city probably has a select thing of hardcore fans that would love it. The other problem is, at this level, ice time is not always a given. You get to the end of the hockey season, and there are rinks that say, we don't care if you have playoff scheduled, it's coming out. Especially with some of the new teams coming in. I know in Virginia, the team there, the place they're slated to play is used more for rodeos. Oh, yeah. So when summer comes around, hey, hockey team's doing well. Hey, we don't care, rodeo time. Time to get ready for that. So you have to extend the season by a week or play less games. The other thing is, hey, it's not a ton of money made in this league. Let's be honest, a lot of these guys play for the love of the game and the little money they do make. Travel to somewhere in a central location because the Fed is very spread out.
It is.
So, okay, the most central you can get is maybe Winston-Salem. They draw good crowds, Elmira or Binghamton. Yep. But then you're asking a guy from Biloxi, Mississippi to travel up with a couple of guys. And it's not like on the other All-Star weekends where, hey, you charter a flight and you get there in 2 hours. Meanwhile, you're sipping a little champagne, enjoying your week off. again, idealistically, yeah, would it be really cool to showcase the best of the Fed? Because, yeah, there's some really good players. It's just a lot of logistics would get in the way. Although if there's somehow to make it happen, I wouldn't be against it, and I wouldn't be against maybe just a weekend off, because really, even around Christmas, not everyone gets a break here in the Fed. Just give everyone a week to relax, because it wears on you, especially with some of these travel conditions. I'm sure Port Huron was excited for their week off after they traveled around the country at the start of January.
Yeah, we talked about that gauntlet, right, that they went on. They left right after Christmas Day, and they were traveling all across the country. I mean, it's something to talk about. I agree with you. In a perfect world, it'd be great if there was like a little showcase weekend, an all-star weekend, things like that. Of course, there's the Stadium Series, going on with Carolina and the Capitals. It would be interesting, and it's not really...
That is a more doable idea.
Yeah.
You can find a nice high school rink. I know in Port Huron High School had hosted a 3-on-3 tournament at the high school there.
Yeah.
That would be an interesting way. The only thing there is you have to get a lot of people to partner, but that would be something that would be a little more interesting. Now, it's funny you bring that up. You know, there was a team in the Fed that tried to start up that was going to play all its games in an outdoor rink.
Oh, so that'd be cool.
Ideally.
Yeah, right.
And then you remember
right?
It starts in October when you can have a 65-degree day and you scratch your head for a bit.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, heck, earlier this week here in Michigan, it was 55 degrees.
It was. Yeah.
Again, ideally, yeah, that'd be neat if it was in Siberia where you could guarantee it's going to be cold enough all year long to have workable ice.
Yeah, I mean, it's something, here in Detroit we have Clark Park, but that venue's not nearly big enough for fans. I mean, you have a couple of stands here and there, but, it was something I was thinking about, with the outdoor games. Of course, Michigan, Ohio State playing in Cleveland. Ohio State, I believe, won that game 4-2. It was happening during our game, but I thought about it. I was like, well, what if one of the games in the I-94 rivalry was played at Clark Park down in Mexican Town? That would be interesting. That'd be kind of cool. Help maybe fund more things for Clark Park. It is all donation based. It allows kids to learn the game of hockey down there as well. Again, that venue though, while it's still cool, there's just not a lot of seating available for fans. Like, you can maybe fit 50 people around that rink. So, yeah, just, again, things going on in the sports world that, we could maybe bring here as they're almost done fitting the glass. And we're getting closer to resuming the last 20 seconds of this game.
Yeah, boy, is it going to be a fun final 20 seconds. Again, 2 minutes went on for the boarding penalty. I believe it went in as boarding for Schumacher. Either way, it's 2 minutes.
Oh.
And it's going to be a wild 2 minutes, or 20 seconds, I should say, for Motor City. Looks like we have the glass in it. All in all, assuming the Zamboni's just going to make one quick pass, handled it pretty quickly, all things considered. Sometimes these things can take a while if the staff at the rink isn't ready, but hats off here to the staff at Big Boy Arena. Really are behind-the-scenes people, but they're the reason why these games can go on smoothly.
Yeah, again, usually a delay like this takes about 20, maybe 30 minutes to handle, but yeah, getting it done here pretty darn fast. Everything is, switching out. They're making sure the glass is slid in. They can secure it with their screws, and we'll, put the covers back on, obviously, and get the last 20 seconds going here, but...
All right, as we wait for the last 20 seconds, I'm going to put you on the spot.
Uh-oh.
Motor City excluded. Best logo in the league, worst logo in the league. Because the Fed, I will say, for the most part, has some pretty unique logos.
They do.
I think each team has a pretty unique identity, but I just wanted, Ben, your favorites as we wait for the Zamboni to make another pass.
I really like Danbury's logo, just because the history behind it. We talked about it last time they were here. They were the hat capital of the world at one point. We talked about why they're named the Hat Tricks. Their alternate logo also is just a rabbit with the 5 diamonds of the teams that have played before. I really like their logo. Their logo is pretty cool. So I'm going to say Danbury, to be honest.
All right.
I think Danbury has a very good logo, very good marketing presence. My least favorite, and I don't want to dig on them because they're a new team like us, but is Mississippi.
Interesting. What about, because the Seawolves are a revival down there.
Yeah.
For down in Biloxi. But what is it that you would like to see? Because it does have a little bit of an older aesthetic that might be more out of style right now, but I'm sure, as all things do, could come back into vogue in the coming years.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. It's nice that they're reviving that, but for me, when you're looking at it from afar, you just see a pink dot, right? You don't realize that there's the Seawolf inside the pink dot, right? So even if that image gets compressed, you just see a pink dot. So for me, that is my least favorite. And again, I like the Seawolves idea. It's not a bad mascot by any stretch of the imagination, but I think they would have to be my least favorite. What about you?
Well, a lot of the logos are solid. Again, the Danbury one's nice. I like Binghamton. And sometimes I think success makes the logo look better. Like Carolina's is very clean, very
simple.
Yeah, same with Columbus. The only one that I just think is a little bland is Delaware. Gray and black is not a color scheme that incites a lot of love for me. I will have to pick on our friends up in Port Huron. I like the logo. I like the name. Do not like the yellow uniforms for Port Huron. It was a bold choice, but the red and black I think is a clean look.
Yeah.
Stick to that. that is what I will say, a clean look.
Speaking of, we have not seen the purple sweaters in a while.
No, well, we haven't been at home in a while, so it feels like longer.
I know,
than
but the last time we saw them, I feel like it was Christmas.
Right, and we're sending the Zamboni off. Aren't we finally ready?
Yeah, I think we're ready.
All right, let's reset the scene. 4-3, Motor City on top of Port Huron. Excuse me, Port Huron on top of Motor City. It's been a while.
Hey, no, it's okay. Speak it into existence.
Port Huron on top of Motor City right now.
Speak it into existence.
Connor Inger scored a goal on a 6-on-4 to get us to this point. Almost immediately after, Port Huron took a penalty to make it 6-4, or make it a 2-minute minor. That is when the glass broke, and that's where we've been stuck for a while. The draw is going to stay in neutral ice. My question is, there was a penalty on Port Huron. So they'll give an interference penalty on Schumacher. The puck is sitting on the dot in there. If it's a penalty on Port Huron, I know the glass broke, but why is it not moving into the zone, unless that's a rule that I will admit, just maybe not aware of?
No, I think we're still just getting things sorted out. I mean, I'm not sure. I'm not sure at all why we're having a face-off at center. Jamie Milam just said the same thing. He's like, I don't know what's going on. We should have a face-off down in the offensive zone. I mean, we should. But I think maybe because the glass broke, it stopped play, so you're giving a neutral chance to both teams, even though a penalty was called.
The officials discussing it. Yeah, again, now they're going to move it into the offensive zone like we expected.
There they go.
20 seconds left to go in the game. Finally, after about, 15-20 minutes of real time, we're ready to play the final 20 seconds. 6-on-4. This draw is so important.
One of the best guys to take it, Scott Koash, is getting ready.
Koash on the draw.
Look how low
Clean win. Colton over to Milam. Takes it for a second. Big slap shot trickles through. Foley turns, sends it, keeps it in the zone. Left side, down to 10 seconds to go. Shot in front, tip to the far boards. Koash chasing after it, but it'll be picked up by Merritt. Backhand trickles in. And all that waiting for a goal just for the wrong team. Sam Merritt puts it on ice. 5-3 Port Huron.
I don't like that possession by Jamie Milam. I'm just going to be honest. I'm going to cut him at the knees. He's the guy who should know better, and this is why I'm going to be blunt about it. he thought about that shot too long. He thought about either should it be a wrist shot or should it be a slap shot. It allowed Port Huron to close on him and allowed for that deflection. You don't think, you just put it on the net. A guy who's been in the league for as long as he has, a guy who's played in every level around the world, should know that. And that mistake allowed Sam Merritt to get the puck and get the empty net goal. It is, again, 5-3.
Port Huron gets the 5-3 win here at Big Boy Arena. They extend their points lead over Motor City, stay in third place. Ben, for the last time tonight, let's go over the stats, recap the scoring, then we'll say good night.
Well, I would love to tell you the shots on goal, but my computer's not cooperating. But, here it goes. So shots on goal ended up still favoring Motor City 44-32. They won the shots on goal every single period, won the third period 12-10. Again, 44-32 in favor of Motor City. Sam Merritt gets the empty net goal, shorthanded as well, with just under 3 seconds to play, so that updates that. And everyone around the league still kind of holding pat with when we gave them the update a few moments ago. So, but again, if you're Jamie Milam, you cannot second guess your shot. Take the opportunity and just fire it on the net. Choose a wrist shot, choose a slap shot, doesn't matter. But that delay was allowed Port Huron to deflect his shot and totally screwed up any chance Motor City had of potentially tying this game. It's going to weigh on him a little bit because, again, he knows better.
Port Huron tops Motor City 5-3. We'll be back here next weekend for a pair of games against the Elmira Mammoth. 7:30 puck drop Friday night, 7 o'clock puck drop on Saturday. That's all we have for you here from Big Boy Arena. It was a fun one, but the Rockers come up on the wrong side of a 5-3 decision. For my partner, Ben Zalagi, I'm Brady Beaton. Thank you so much for spending your Saturday night with us. Have a safe and wonderful weekend.